is what you do. Well, and where kids around 16 to 17 years old, they saw GTA 5 video games that people can kill each other, fighting and making violence, cursing words. They also trying to copy like that. So this could lead to bad habits and bad behavior, where the kid killing and trying to rob us the video game that they play. So what you see is what you think, and what you see is what you do. This could also lead to what you see is what you become. When you see, you do. When you see, you think, you do, and you become one of that in some day. And this is a really bad behavior. So in that one point, in that one main point, it's meant like the violence video game does causes behavior problems. So ladies and gentlemen, to sum up my topics, what you see is what you think, what you see is what you do, and what you see is what you become. One day you think, you see, and then you think, and then you do. One day you will become one of that, ladies and gentlemen. You need to be careful. And of course, the violence video game does cause behavior problem to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Panya. Now moving on to our last candidates for the public speaking category, candidate 397, Teo Jumrong. Jumrong will be presenting "The Internet Should Be Free for Everyone."
First of all, I would like to pay my sincere respect to the judges, also to the audience. Hi, my name is Xu Jumrong. Have you ever think that if the internet is free for everyone for 24 hours unlimited, that access to the internet is probably very great, right? In this part, I just want to show, or something that I want to explain, why the internet should be free for everyone. I know everybody using it, also me too. But sometimes, like as I am a student, sometimes I have money, sometimes I don't. Like now, I don't have any money. So I have my story, my own stories. Like, I have two options. One is about breakfast. I didn't eat breakfast yet. And number two is like, I need to buy a gigabyte to access to the internet to study online class. Unfortunately, I was have only $1. You can choose $1 for choose from both options. So I find solution and to do like this. And then my idea was supposed me to do like this. I have two options. I'm gonna choose my hand to choose only one and count it to choose only one option. Like breakfast, internet, and the last one is gonna be breakfast. So no choice, I'm gonna choose breakfast. That's why I was absent about morning session online class. From my experience, I strongly believe that internet should be free for everyone. I have two reasons that internet should be free. To begin with, the internet is the one of the most basic necessity that everybody needed. They can't live without internet in technology era. It is important as like a meal, like I mentioned my story before. I know it's very important, right? For example, like if you are able to join online class, you're gonna need internet. But what if you don't have any internet? Gonna be miss your class and something you cannot access what your education to offer to you. That's why if you don't have any education on yourself, you're gonna be change your attitude, your personality, and decrease about your knowledge. The second reason that internet should be free is knowledge. Everybody know about knowledge is very important. We need to get more knowledge to put on ourselves. We can find knowledge from books, from people around us, from internet or something like that. A lot of information about knowledge. But if we use internet for provide our choosing research our knowledge, is probably very easier. For example, like I want to study or something, I want something to learn, like I want to be a best public speaker in Bohaj now right now. I'm gonna be research to Chrome, to Safari or Google it or Facebook, YouTube, you're gonna put on your keyword on it. And then a lot of information about the best public speaker in everywhere. Everything gonna be there. Like I said, have phone, have internet, have everything. We don't need to use a book or something or buy a book that related to a public speaker to read or find our information, read a lot of pages of this book. We just need have phone, have internet, have everything. But like I mentioned earlier, if you don't have enough money, no education, no knowledge, and no better life. In conclusions, I strongly believe that everybody should get for free for internet because it's made our life easier, and internet provides a lot of benefit to us, like give a lot of our knowledge. And if the internet is free for everyone, we stop buying, spend money for $1 on card access to the internet. I strongly that in the future technology gonna be increasing, something like that. Okay? And then internet gonna be real free. So it's made our life is better and better. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamrong. And now we're concluding the first category is the public speaking category. Now going back to you.
អរគុណច្រើនម៉ារីចាឃើញហើយនេះគឺជាការបង្ហាញនៅសមត្ថភាពរបស់បេក្ខជនបេក្ខនារីយើងឃើញថាពួកគាត់លើកឡើងនៅប្រធានបទល្អមែនតែនប្រធានបទមួយចំនួនក៏ដូចជាការលើកឡើងមួយចំនួនយើងសិតសឹងតែបានជ្រាបហើយក៏ដឹងដែរថានេះគឺជាការលើកឡើងបង្ហាញអំពីទស្សនវិជ្ជាពិតដែលកើតឡើងនៅក្នុងសង្គមពិតចំណុចខ្លះបើសិនជាយើងមិនចាប់អារម្មណ៍គឺយើងពិតជាមិនដឹងទេថាតើវានឹងអាចផ្ដល់ផលវិជ្ជមានក៏ដូចជាអវិជ្ជមានណាខ្លះមកដល់ពួកយើងឥឡូវសូមសួរទៅកាន់បងប្អូននៅខាងលើវិញចាប់អារម្មណ៍ប្រធានបទណាជាងគេហើយចាប់អារម្មណ៍បេក្ខជនរូបណាជាងគេសូមឲ្យលឺមកចឹងយើងមានគេហៅថាតារានៅក្នុងចិត្តយើងហើយណាហ្នឹងហើយប្រធានបទផ្សេងទៀតយើងសិតសឹងតែគ្រប់គ្រងដូចគ្នាព្រោះថាការលើកឡើងរបស់បេក្ខជនបេក្ខនារីយើងគឺសិតសឹងតែមានអំណាងយ៉ាងត្រឹមត្រូវហើយមានការលើកឡើងគ្រប់គ្រងក៏ដូចជាមិនគ្រប់គ្រងច្រើនតកតងទៅនឹងការគ្រប់គ្រងទៅដល់ប្រធានបទរបស់ខ្លួនហើយឥឡូវងាកទៅចាប់អារម្មណ៍បេក្ខជនដែលយើងទៅតែបញ្ចប់ការបង្ហាញសមត្ថភាពហើយមានអារម្មណ៍មិនដែរលឺអស់កម្លាំងឯងមែនអូនមកសុំឲ្យលឺបន្ទាប់ពីបង្ហាញសមត្ថភាពហើយមានអារម្មណ៍មិនដែរអូនពេញចិត្តនៅអ្វីដែលខ្លួនឯងបង្ហាញនៅខ្សោយមែនទៅមើលតែឲ្យខ្លាំងមើលតិចទៀតយើងអង្គុយមើលគេបង្ហាញជាក្រុមម្ដងឯងមានអារម្មណ៍មិនដែរពេញចិត្តនៅអ្វីដែលខ្លួនបានបង្ហាញទេ Who are we អត់លឺទេសុំឲ្យលឺ Who are we Okay What are we here for What we are here for ហើយគិតតែខ្លួនឯងវិញនៅNo ឲ្យកម្លាំងចិត្តខ្លួនឯងបងក៏ជាអ្នកផ្ដល់កម្លាំងចិត្តឲ្យអូនមួយរូបដែរហើយនេះមានការគ្រប់គ្រងពីបងប្អូនសិស្សានុសិស្សអាណាព្យាបាលយើងមកគ្រប់គ្រងពេញហ្នឹងអញ្ចឹងយើងត្រូវចេះផ្ដល់កម្លាំងចិត្តឲ្យខ្លួនឯងអរគុណច្រើនឥឡូវនេះឃើញថាការប្រកួតប្រជែងវោហាឆ្នើមចាក៏បង្ហាញសមត្ថភាពនិយាយភាសាអង់គ្លេសបែបបុគ្គលក៏បានបញ្ចប់ហើយនៅឡើយតែការបង្ហាញនៅសមត្ថភាពជាក្រុមបន្តទៀតអញ្ចឹងនេះខ្ញុំក៏សូមបកគោតួនាទីនេះទៅឲ្យកញ្ញាម៉ារីជាបន្តវិញចា
ចាអរគុណច្រើនបងមុននឹងបន្តទៅមុខទៀតនាងខ្ញុំសូមពេលសម្រាប់5នាទីសម្រាប់ឲ្យគណៈកម្មការបូកសរុបពិន្ទុរបស់ពួកគាត់ចាសូមអរគុណពួកយើងនឹងត្រឡប់មកវិញនៅម៉ោង9:47 នាទីចាសូមអរគុណ
ចាអញ្ចឹងនៅក្នុងកំឡុងពេលដែលយើងសម្រាកក៏ដូចជាសម្រួលអរិយាប័ត្រសម្ដែងសម្ណាមួយបេក្ខជនយើងតិចសិនមិនដែរបងប្អូននៅខាងលើអាចសម្រួលអរិយាប័ត្រចាអញ្ជើញទៅកាន់បន្ទប់ទឹកឬក៏ចាអាចញ៉ាំអីបានព្រោះយើងមានពេល5នាទីត្រឡប់មកវិញនៅម៉ោង9:47 នាទីចាអញ្ចឹងអាច
បបពិសោធន៍នៅប្រទេសមានជ័យក្រុមការងារវោហាឆ្នើមគឺអាចនិយាយបានថាតែរន្ធត់សប្បាយរំភើបជូរចត់គឺនៅក្នុងទាំងអស់ហើយអាចនិយាយបានថាក្នុងឆ្នាំទី3នេះរដូវកាលទី3នៃកម្មវិធីវោហាឆ្នើមនៅក្នុងខេត្តបន្ទាយមានជ័យនេះគឺជាឆ្នាំមួយដែលក្រុមការងារបានរៀបចំ boot camp ជោគជ័យ 100%
This is boot camp day have fun here. I feel so happy because I meet a lot of new people. I will have a lot of friends. they want to correct us, they want to give us feedback and train us where we don't know and where we haven't heard about and where we need to know. And that
positive energy to your partner. I'm ready.
ចាត់ទុកចាត់អីនៅទីនេះសូមឲ្យថែរក្សាទាំងអស់គ្នាគ្រប់ក្រុមការងារទាំងអស់នៅទីនេះតែសន្តិសុខនិងសុវត្ថិភាពការបោះជំរំនៅទីនេះជោគជ័យចាប់ដោយរលូនហើយបើសិនជាធ្វើការប្រតិបត្តិទីតាំងនេះច្រើនថ្ងៃហើយក៏ច្រើនកន្លែងដែរអញ្ចឹងសូមឲ្យម្ចាស់ទឹកដីដែលថែរក្សានៅទីនេះបានដឹងបានលឺនិងជួយមើលថែរក្សាក្មេងៗទាំងអស់ឲ្យគាត់មានតែសុវត្ថិភាពក៏ដូចជាបើសិនជាមានការលើសលួសអីសូមឲ្យខាងដីអភ័យទោសព្រោះពួកគាត់សុទ្ធតែក្មេងៗទាំងអស់
អូខេ
អរេបងមិនដូចរៀនទីពេកកំពុងហាមាត់មកកែផុតទេ
ប្រហែលខ្ញុំបានបរៀនអំពី basic of public speaking ហើយនិង debate ហើយអ្វីដែលខ្ញុំក៏សម្គាល់វាមានពី3ចំណុចដែរដូចទី1ខ្ញុំគិតថាពួកគាត់តាមតែជាក្មេងវិទ្យាល័យនៅជនបទធម្មតាដែលគាត់អត់សូវដឹងពី basic ទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងតែតាមពិតទៅកម្រិតភាសាអង់គ្លេសនៃការយល់ដឹងរបស់ពួកគាត់គឺខ្លាំងមែនទែនហើយចំណុចទី2ឲ្យតែមានកិច្ចការមិនថា group discussion ឬក៏យើងសួរសំណួរអីទេគឺគាត់ very engagement ហើយនឹង active នៅក្នុងថ្នាក់មែនទែនស្ទើរតែជួនកាលលើកដៃ10នាក់អីដែលយើងមិនដឹងថាគូជ្រើសរើសពីណាអញ្ចឹងគាត់ចូលរួមខ្លាំងមែនទែនអាហ្នឹងវាជាចំណុចពិសេសមួយដែលខ្ញុំឃើញថាការ select ពីខាងកម្មវិធីរបស់យើងគឺសិតតែអ្នកដែលប្រកែហ្មង
បងអាចទៅខែអូនដូចផ្ទះសុកស្រួលដូចនៅផ្ទះហេប៉ុន្តែបងហ៊ានធានាថានៅក្នុងជំរំវោហាឆ្នាំគឺជាកន្លែងដែលបោះតង់ដែលក្មេងៗមានអារម្មណ៍ថា fresh ហើយទទួលបានភាពកក់ក្ដៅពីបងជាងជំរំផ្សេងហ៊ានធានាកន្លែងហ្នឹងព្រោះអីជឿជាក់ហ្មងថារៀបចំអស់ពីសមត្ថភាពហើយក៏ឥតខ្ចោះដែរ
or else That's how you should do your competition. If you go up there on the stage, it's already too late to actually be afraid now because the Sunday is coming. I can't stop the time.
ខ្ញុំអរគុណដល់កម្មវិធីហ្នឹងយ៉ាងខ្លាំងអ្នកគ្រូហើយសារមើលទៅឃើញថាកម្មវិធីនេះល្អធ្វើឲ្យសិស្សក្លាហាន
ខ្ញុំចង់ប្រាប់ម៉ាក់ហើយនឹងប៉ាថាស្អែកទោះបីជាលទ្ធផលចេញមកយ៉ាងណាក៏ដោយប៉ុន្តែខ្ញុំនឹងព្យាយាមអស់ពីសមត្ថភាព
Yeah, even though I pass on art, actually I'm really proud of myself and I want them to be proud of me too. Yeah, I'm really appreciative to them because I'm not alone because I have them at least. Thanks to them.
បាទមានពាក្យថាជូនសូមជូនពរកូនឲ្យស្អែកប្រឡងជាប់បានលទ្ធផលល្អហើយនឹងអរគុណចំពោះក្រុមការងារទាំងអស់ដែលក្នុងការប្រឡងជែងកម្មវិធីវោហាឆ្នាំនេះនឹងសូមឲ្យកម្មវិធីនេះឆ្នាំក្រោយទទួលបានការគាំទ្រនិងការលើកទឹកចិត្តឲ្យបានច្រើន
និយាយបានថាអារម្មណ៍អូនវាពិបាកមែនគឺបងមានអារម្មណ៍ថា
អីក៏ធ្វើ
ត្រយ៉ងគឺជាបក្សីនិមិត្តរូបនៃកម្ពុជាយើងរួមគ្នាបង្កើតសារព័ត៌មានត្រយ៉ងដើម្បីចូលរួមលើកកម្ពស់កិត្តិយសភាពកម្ពុជានិងអភិរក្សសត្វត្រយ៉ងដែលជាសត្វកម្រនិងងាយរងគ្រោះក្រៅពីផ្ដល់ព័ត៌មានសារព័ត៌មានត្រយ៉ងមានសេវាកម្មផលិតកម្មវិធីបែបទូរទស្សន៍ផលិតវីដេអូគ្រប់ប្រភេទទទួល live ព្រឹត្តិការណ៍ទទួលរៀបចំសន្និសីទសារព័ត៌មានផលិតសេចក្តីប្រកាសព័ត៌មានផលិតអត្ថបទ PR និងសេវាកម្មជាច្រើនទៀតពាក់ព័ន្ធទៅនឹងប្រព័ន្ធផ្សព្វផ្សាយទៅតាមតម្រូវការរបស់លោកអ្នកត្រយ៉ងផ្ដល់សេវាកម្មប្រកបដោយការទទួលខុសត្រូវគុណធម៌វិជ្ជាជីវៈប្រសិទ្ធភាពប្រសិទ្ធផលនិងសក្តិភាពជាទីពេញចិត្ត
ត្រយ៉ងនាំសារពិតគ្រប់ទីកន្លែង
បបពិសោធន៍នៅប្រទេសមានជ័យក្រុមការងារវហាឆ្នាំគឺអាចនិយាយបានថាតែរន្ធត់សប្បាយរំភើបជូរចត់គឺនៅក្នុងទាំងអស់ហើយអាចនិយាយបានថាក្នុងឆ្នាំទី3នេះរដូវកាលទី3នៃកម្មវិធីវហាឆ្នាំនៅក្នុងខេត្តបន្ទាយមានជ័យនេះគឺជាឆ្នាំមួយដែលក្រុមការងារបានរៀបចំ boot camp ជោគជ័យ 100%
This is boot camp day. Have fun here. I feel so happy because I meet a lot of new people. I will have a lot of friends.
The biggest question is why are we here?
Based on my idea, I think that they want to correct us, they want to give us feedback and train us where we don't know and where we haven't heard about and where we need to know. And
Positive energy to your partner. I'm ready.
ចាត់ទុកចាត់អីនៅទីនេះសូមឲ្យថែរក្សាអស់គ្នាគ្រប់ក្រុមការងារទាំងអស់នៅទីនេះតែសន្តិសុខនិងសុខភាពការបោះជំរំនៅទីនេះជោគជ័យចាប់ដោយរលូនហើយបើសិនជាធ្វើការប្រតិបត្តិទីតាំងវាច្រើនថ្ងៃហើយក៏ច្រើនកន្លែងតែអញ្ចឹងសូមឲ្យម្ចាស់ទឹកដីដែលថែរក្សានៅទីនេះបានដឹងបានលឺនិងជួយមើលថែរក្សាក្មេងៗទាំងអស់ឲ្យគាត់មានតែសុខភាពក៏ដូចជាបើសិនជាមានការលើសលួសអីសូមឲ្យកាន់តែអភ័យទោសព្រោះពួកគាត់សុទ្ធតែក្មេងៗទាំងអស់
អូខេអរេបងមិនដូចរៀនទីពេកកំពុងហាមាត់មកកន្លែងផុតទេ
ប្រហែលខ្ញុំបានបរៀនអំពី basic of public speaking ហើយនិង debate ហើយអ្វីដែលខ្ញុំក៏សម្គាល់វាមានពី3ចំណុចដែរដូចទី1ខ្ញុំគិតថាពួកគាត់ត្រឹមតែជាក្មេងវិទ្យាល័យនៅជនបទធម្មតាដែលគាត់អត់សូវដឹងពី basic ទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងតែតាមពិតទៅកម្រិតភាសាអង់គ្លេសនៃការយល់ដឹងរបស់ពួកគាត់គឺខ្លាំងមែនទែនហើយចំណុចទី2ឲ្យតែមានកិច្ចការមិនថា group discussion ឬក៏យើងសួរសំណួរអីទេគឺគាត់ very engagement ហើយនឹង active នៅក្នុងថ្នាក់មែនទែនស្ទើរតែជួនកាលលើកដៃ10នាក់អីដែលយើងមិនដឹងថាគូជ្រើសរើសពីណាអញ្ចឹងគាត់ចូលរួមខ្លាំងមែនទែនអាហ្នឹងវាជាចំណុចពិសេសមួយដែលខ្ញុំឃើញថាការ select ពីខាងកម្មវិធីរបស់យើងគឺសិតតែអ្នកដែលប្រកែហ្មង
បងអាចទៅខែអូនដូចផ្ទះសុកស្រួលដូចនៅផ្ទះហើយប៉ុន្តែបងហ៊ានធានាថានៅក្នុងជំរំវហាឆ្នាំគឺជាកន្លែងដែលបោះតង់ដែលក្មេងៗមានអារម្មណ៍ថា fresh ហើយទទួលបានភាពកក់ក្ដៅពីបងជាងជំរំផ្សេងហ៊ានធានាកន្លែងហ្នឹងព្រោះអីជឿជាក់ហ្មងថារៀបចំអស់ពីសមត្ថភាពហើយក៏ឥតខ្ចោះដែរ
Now because the Sunday is coming, I can't stop the time.
ខ្ញុំអរគុណដល់កម្មវិធីហ្នឹង យ៉ាងខ្លាំងអ្នកគ្រូហើយសារមើលទៅឃើញថាកម្មវិធីនេះល្អធ្វើឲ្យសិស្សក្លាហាន
ខ្ញុំចង់ប្រាប់ម៉ាក់ហើយនឹងប៉ាថាស្អែកទោះបីជាលទ្ធផលចេញមកយ៉ាងណាក៏ដោយប៉ុន្តែខ្ញុំនឹងព្យាយាមអស់ពីសមត្ថភាព
Yeah, even though I pass or not, actually, I'm really proud of myself and I want them to be proud of me too. Yeah, I'm really appreciative them because I'm not alone, because I have them, at least. Thanks to them.
បាទមានពាក្យថាជូនសូមជូនពរកូនឲ្យស្អែកប្រឡងជាប់បានលទ្ធផលល្អហើយនឹងអរគុណចំពោះក្រុមការងារទាំងអស់ដែលក្នុងការប្រឡងប្រជែងកម្មវិធីវោហាឆ្នាំនេះនឹងសូមឲ្យកម្មវិធីនេះឆ្នាំក្រោយក៏ទទួលបានការគាំទ្រនិងការលើកទឹកចិត្តឲ្យបានច្រើន
អាចនិយាយបានថាអារម្មណ៍អូនគឺពិបាកមែនគឺបងមានអារម្មណ៍ថា
អីក៏ធ្វើដែរ បងអាចធ្វើបាន
ទុកខ្លាចដល់គុណទៅដល់លើកទឹកចិត្តយ៉ាងទេរបស់យើងទាំងអស់ថាបែរខ្សែទៅខ្សែទៅ
Okay. ចាសសូមស្វាគមន៍ការវិលត្រឡប់មកវិញនៅក្នុងកម្មវិធីវោហាឆ្នាំវគ្គពាក់កណ្ដាលផ្ដាច់ប្រវត្តិនៅក្នុងវគ្គការប្រកួតប្រជែងចាប់បែបជាក្រុមវិញម្ដងហើយយើងឃើញហើយថាការប្រកួតលក្ខណៈជាបុគ្គលមួយនេះគឺស្វិតស្វាញមែនទែនចាបេក្ខជនបេក្ខនារីរបស់យើងគឺគាត់ប្រឹងប្រែងនិងបង្ហាញនៅសមត្ថភាពក៏ដូចជាលើកឡើងនៅប្រធានបទល្អមែនទែនដែលប្រធានបទទាំងអស់នេះគឺឆ្លុះបញ្ចាំងពីទស្សនវិជ្ជាពិតនៅក្នុងសង្គមតែម្ដងដែលយើងគួរតែយកទៅពិចារណាជាពិសេសគឺបងប្អូនតែម្ដងព្រោះមានចំណុចខ្លះមានប្រធានបទខ្លះគឺពិតជាគួរឲ្យចាប់អារម្មណ៍មែនទែនតាក់ទងទៅនឹងការលេងហ្គេមមើលណាគេចូលចិត្តលេងហ្គេមខ្លះលើកដៃមើលចុះបន្ទាប់ពីស្ដាប់ការរៀបរាប់ក៏ដូចជាស្ដាប់ការលើកឡើងរបស់បេក្ខជនយើងហើយមានអារម្មណ៍មិនដែរឈប់ចង់លេងហីចាអរគុណឥឡូវនេះយើងបន្តចាកម្មវិធីយើងជាបន្តទៀតហើយដើម្បីឲ្យកម្មវិធីកាន់តែអធិកលើកឡើងនេះខ្ញុំសូមប្រកួតទូនីតិនេះតែឲ្យកញ្ញាមករៀបទៀតហើយដើម្បីសម្រួលក៏ដូចជារៀបចំនៅការប្រកួតជាបន្តចាអរគុណ
Now we start on the second category is the debate categories. I would like to invite group 2 for proposition and group 6 for oppositions. Candidate ID number 310 Suthaliza. Candidate 296 Consolida. Candidate 22 Teo Gagli for group 2 for proposition team. And candidate 336 Tu Panya, 314 Sun Texrun, and 107 Nit Kevin for the opposition team. The debate topic for this round is: should social media comments be protected by free speech?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is 21st century 2022 that the world changed a lot. Even social media is a media for us to express ourselves. And we as a human should have our freedom of speech. If we don't have change to talk or worry about our opinion, it's look like bird without wing cannot fly. Good morning, honorable judges and everyone. I am as the first speaker from proposition team, stand here believe that social media comments should be protected by free speech. But before I go deeper, I would like to define two keywords of social media comment and free speech first. Social media comment are the expression of someone's opinion or their thought on the website, online platform, or application that focus on communication, such as Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter. Secondly, free speech or freedom of speech is the right to express any opinion, and it allows people to show their feeling, their idea without censorship or government interference. Therefore, the whole topic means that the expression of opinion on the website, online platform should be protected by allow people to show their feeling, their opinion without censorship. So today, we have two strong arguments supporting the motion. The first one is a human right, and the last, the benefit of freedom of speech on social media comment. So let's start with my first argument. Nowadays, the digital changed the world 180 degrees from an old generation, and this is the modern world that social media has taken a big part of human. In 21st century 2022, people have the right to express their idea. They can worry about what they think on social media comment. Especially, people have the right to express themselves without interference. According to United Nations said that freedom of speech is enshrined in Article 19 of Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which means that everyone has the right on freedom of speech and expression, and this right includes freedom to hold opinion, impart information, and ideas through any social media without interference. But everyone should remember that even those people have the right to express their idea freely without fear of censorship or interference, but we are not allow people to express any idea that offend or cause any conflict. Freedom of speech on social media should come with your responsibility and respect to each other. As an example, in our society, students in Cambodia use social media to improve their academic performance beside class by watching video on Facebook that allow them to comment, ask the question, express their opinion, their idea by using the word politely to each other. Last but not least, we believe that we believe in freedom of speech, and we also believe that everyone should use this right correctly, and also your freedom of speech should come with your responsibility too. I, as the first speaker from proposition team, still believe and stand strongly support to the motion that social media comments should be protected by free speech. Thank you.
Greetings, honorable guests, judges, ladies and gentlemen. Currently, I stand here as the first speaker from the opposition team. Would like to come here and persuade all of you that our motion today, should social media comment be protected by free speech, is false. Before we dive into this debate, allow me to define three crucial key terms. The first word is social media comment, which our team defined as a way of interacting with other people via comment on online platform. The second word, protect, means to defend or back up. And lastly, the third word, free speech, means our right to express anything without restriction. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, our motion means, should comment we make on social media be backed up or protected by our right to speech? However, we, the opposition team, strongly disagree. Rather, social media comment should not be protected by free speech. Before I proceed, allow me to outline our team structure. I, the first speaker, will be talking about why will be talking about social media comment lead to many consequences. Our second speaker will be talking about why social media comment should not be protected by free speech. And lastly, our third speaker will sum up and rebut our team statement. Ladies and gentlemen, I have come up with 2 main points to convince you all that our motion, that we oppose this motion. But before we start this discussion, I want to ask the audience, would you want your news feed to be filled with fake news? Would you like to see people online get harassed? Would you like yourself, all of you, would you like yourself one day be offended by cyberbullying? Of course, no one's want that. That is why my first point is social media comment is misleading. As we all know, nowadays anyone can comment on almost anything on social media. Plus, if we give them the right to free speech, then a big majority of bad people will start abusing this so-called privilege of being able to spread any information on the internet. Take COVID-19 vaccine as an example. Last year, there have been rumors circling around the internet saying that COVID-19 contained microchip that can track what you're doing. But as a matter of fact, science goes to show that there's no such way a microchip can be able to fit into COVID-19 vaccine. Moving on to my second point, social media endures bad behavior. As we all know, there are many types of bad behavior. But talking specifically, we're talking about cyberbullying. Cyberbullying nowadays is very common. And according to the Asian Post, an article by UNICEF goes to show that they have created a survey poll for Cambodian youth between the age of 15 to 25, and over 85.7% of those 1 million people said that they are in grave danger of online harassment as well as online violence. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, we, the opposition team, still strongly oppose this motion and stand firmly on our accusation. And I hope that with all of this evidence, everyone will agree with me that social media comment should not be protected by free speech. And lastly, remember, free speech is democracy. If you were to use free speech for harm, this is not democracy, ladies and gentlemen. This is anarchy. This is human right violation. Thank you very much.
The main purpose of social media is to, sorry, can I start again? Okay. The main purpose of social media is to make communication, and in making communication, free speech is a big part of it. Then, what the point using social media, we can express our idea or opinion freely without fear? Current judges, ladies and gentlemen, my candidate number is 296. I stand here as a second speaker from the proposition team with a strong support that social media comments should be protected by free speech. In order to prove that the motion should be proposed, I have come up with the second argument, the benefits of free speech on social media comments. And in the argument, I will focus on 2 main points. First, it can improve ourselves. Second, it can make change in society and improve society. Besides our freedom to do it, this freedom can provide us a lot of benefits. First, it can improve ourselves. Freedom of speech on social media comment is really important for every individual for living as a human being. When social media comment is protected by free speech, we can freely express our idea or opinion in everything without fear of restraint or censorship. Moreover, we can be a part of solving society issues, seeking justice for people, and also praying the development for our country, because our words, our voice, our comments are all matter. Furthermore, by expressing our idea or opinion can help us reduce stress and pressure. Keeping all unsaid words in our mind is not the best thing for us to do. It can make us feel heavy and painful, like we carry the whole weight of the whole planet. Have you ever felt this way, ladies and gentlemen, when you want to express something but you're not allowed to do it? Besides, by allowing speech on social media comments can give us the opportunity to learn. We can see a lot of comments that provide us abundance of information that make us understand clearly about the facts and problems so that we can analyze it and evaluate it in the right way. Therefore, free speech on social media comments can help us extend our knowledge and also make us think more critically. Let's jump to our second point. It can make a change in society and improve society. Freedom of speech on social media comment is really important for the development and the change in the society as well as in the world.
It is a strategy to solve problem. Problem occur everywhere, but the point is that not everyone knows exactly of all time where the specific area that a problem has occurred, unless they live there. Therefore, it is really important for people who face the problem to use their voice, their word, freely through social media comments in order to call for help, solution, and express about their situation. And this make it reach quickly to the government, ministry, organization, and other philanthropists quickly. On the 13th of December 2018, the Ministry of Public Works and Transport launched a social media app called RoadCare. RoadCare enables Cambodian road users to directly report about the major pothole and damaged road to the authority for maintenance. They can report it by uploading picture or video clip and with their comments in there. And as a result, 1,200 cases of damaged road were solved through the report on this app. This, according to my website, which was published on the 2nd of December 2019. In conclusion, freedom of speech on social media comment is really important and gives us a lot of benefits for ourselves, for the society, and for the whole world. I, as a second speaker from the proposition team, strongly agree to the motion social media comment should be protected by free speech. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I stand here as the second speaker of the opposition team. She is strongly opposed to the motion, should social media be protected by free speech? No, social media should not be protected by free speech. Ladies and gentlemen, social media is an online platform that many people gather to discuss, post comment, and share articles. And they can say whatever they want, and it doesn't have to be true at all. Ladies and gentlemen, today I am going to tell you the reason why social media comment should not be protected by free speech. And in this argument, I will be focusing on three main points. First, social media term policy. Second, minimize cyber harassment and disturbing content. And three, protect your privacy. Now, before I get into my topic, I would like to rebut some of the statements that the proposition team have made. The second speaker has stated that we can improve our society because people can share their comment online and help improve our society. But what if the comment is false or misleading? Well, as my first speaker has stated that about the COVID-19 case, they said that the vaccine contains microchip that can track us what we are doing, and that is false. So how can it improve our society if they are spreading misinformation all over the city? Now let's get back to our point. First, social networking has social network media term and policy. What do I mean by social media term and policy? It is a rule book that is set a boundary of what the user is allowed to express on the platform or the company. It does not stop the user from the freedom of speech. For example, if you go to the help and support in Facebook, you will see a term policy that Facebook has stated that the user are freely express. You can express your feeling online. So you already have your freedom of speech, but with some limitation, because Facebook do not tolerate cyber harassment and misinformation. Second, minimize cyber harassment and misinformation or disturbing content. As you already know, social media is a very big place where millions of people all over the world gather every day to express online about their life and their feeling. So they can say whatever they want, and in that million, there are some people who go around and express and insult others or maybe say rude things to others. But the social media company know what is right and what is wrong. They can determine it and ban them from it. For example, there was a case where Facebook actually take a stand and ban people from their social media platform according to orumwanalaw.com. These people were recognized as dangerous individuals and they were shooting people and live broadcasting them on social media. Finally, protect our privacy. What do I mean by protect our privacy? Nobody in the world wants to be invaded into their privacy. It is like invading their right. And according to netreputation.com, the best way to protect our privacy is the censorship program. It can censor things like your personal information and personal phone number, location from spreading online. In conclusion, social media comments should not be protected by free speech because of these several reasons. And with all this meaningful evidence that I have presented so far, I hope that everyone will stand and vote for my team to stop others from being harassed online. And lastly, I, the second speaker, still strongly believe that social networking should not be protected by free speech. Thank you.
Should social media comment be protected by free speech? Ladies and gentlemen, in a world like this, sure enough, everything needs freedom. No matter if you're human, even animal needs their own right. Therefore, at the end of the day, we all need our own freedom. So to answer your question, ladies and gentlemen, should social media comment be protected by free speech? Absolutely. A very good morning to everyone. My name is Joey Lee. My candidate number is 22. Today, I stand here as the third speaker of the proposition team, strongly believe that social media comments should be protected by free speech. To strongly oppose to this motion, I would like to point some things out that each opposition team members have stated. So, free speech in social media comment could lead to many consequences. Dear opposition team, we know that it can create toxicity. This is why we're trying to get the citizen to understand about free speech. We're trying to get them to understand, to educate them, to raise awareness about free speech and what is free speech and what is hate speech. Therefore, because we truly do not believe that in this world anything that exists is bad, I'm sure that there is a good side of it. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, social media comments could be very, very useful to the government, actually. So when citizens have complaints, mostly in real life, do you think they actually just go to the government and just say, hey, we need this fixing? Of course not. They don't exactly have the voice to say that, although it is a very big problem, actually. Have you actually seen anyone that just go to the government and just tell them what is exactly wrong? When you're able to have this free speech in the social media, automatically, when something happens, even if small, even if big, therefore, you can just post and comment your opinions and your thought on social media, which actually help the government a lot. You can report whatever you like to be fixed. It has so many more benefits, which it is why we choose to believe social media comments. So, should social media comment be protected now? Although you've mentioned that it will be able to lead to many consequences, just like you said. Of course it could lead to many consequences. Something like this will definitely happen, ladies and gentlemen. Why? If it actually happens, then why don't we join each other just to stand by each other and look forward together to fix this? Why are we against each other, ladies and gentlemen? So, to find the solution, we need to stand by each other and just solve this. And yes, social media could lead to cyberbullying, but it is why we need to raise awareness and share this knowledge to educate people around us. And I, as the third speaker of the proposition team, would still like to oppose to their motion, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Hello, test.
Have you ever heard that social media is not a safe place to share information? This is the biggest reason that it is very malicious and dangerous to all people to all users around the world. Everyone still trusts stranger comment that are posted in social media. It has may affect our mental health. Well, we are the opposition team. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We are the opposition team, and we would like to rebut some of the opponent's statement. As again, before starting, allow me to state the motion for today's debate once again. The motion is should social media be protected by free speech? However, we are the opposition teams. We would like to disagree, and instead, social media should not be commanded by free speech. As the first opponent has said that freedom of speech, you can express feeling to others, you can express your idea to share information to others, but sharing information, express feeling, express idea is the same kind of harassment. People comments was the same kind of harassment, sexual, bad behavior, violence to our societies. You said that big part of humans, it has grown and massive change a lot. No, we live in society for many years. It has not affect any at all. It has not changed, it do not change anything. The first speaker has mentioned that students use social media every day. They do not use it to communicate a lot. Mostly they talk to useless stuff. Mostly they will share information that are useless, like sexual harassment, a lot, violent. Mostly they will continue playing games on social media, comments and speech, communicate with each other. Continue to the second speaker, communication, comments, communication. You said that communication. What is communication anyways? You said that communication with people, with students, you can express feeling? No. Comments all matter. What do you mean by that? Imagine if your son or your daughter comment to a sexy post. If your daughter posts something and you saw a comment, you still say that it's matter? Like the comment said that she's very beautiful. She is very beautiful. I would like to do that to her. I would like to do this to her. What would you feel? So as the speaker has said that if you saw a bad comment, you can click report. I've been click report many times, but the account was not banned yet. They do not have enough law to stand up. Finally, I would like to say that why don't you all help us, give us hand and help us to lead a new future, to lead and cannot make any cases that giving a lot of societies, giving a lot of harassment to our societies. What do you think? Please give us hand. And today's debate is all that we still strongly believe that social media should not be protected by free speech. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, social media is a powerful tool of communication. It allows everyone from anywhere to express themselves through a simple click. If we erase this freedom of speech in social media, we will lose a powerful tool of communication. Therefore, how will we improve this country if there is no voice, no opinion from its own country, ladies and gentlemen? But before we dig any deeper, I would like to say good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jiwit Lee, my candidate number is 22. Would like to come here once again to explain why social media comments should be protected by free speech. Just like our team has mentioned, it is humans' right How would you feel if you were trapped in a little cell where you were not able to move? You're not allowed to talk. Just sit there on your knees being pretty. Right, it is frustrating. So, this is not the 1800s, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 21st century. Therefore, we have the freedom, we have the right, something the 1800s are so desperate to have. So, why are you trying to curl back to your old self, ladies and gentlemen? Remember, ladies and gentlemen, because of this social media comment is why we are able to be here. Just take a look at Thailand as an example. Thang Mo, a famous celebrity that mysteriously passed away. Without knowing the exact reason why. When it got reported to the police worked on it and researched on it instantly, but then they eventually dropped it because there were no clear evidence. Seeing this, the citizen wasn't happy. They shared their opinion on social media to try to suggest to the police to please reconsider the crime case, to research about it again. And guess what? The police eventually did it again. You see, ladies and gentlemen, it only takes a few voices to just have justice for a poor soul. So why are you still trying to censor it? Yes, we do agree that social media comment can be a place where one can bully another. But I'm not trying to tell you we should normalize it. We should, again, stand by each other and look forward together to solve this problem. If we don't solve it and just discard it, will we improve our country? Therefore, lastly, as the proposition team, we would like to continue to strongly believe that social media comments should be protected by free speech. And we, as the proposition team, would still continue to strongly disagree to their motion, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Honorable guests, judges, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to summarize the whole debate. With all the meaningful evidence that we, the opposition team, have presented so far, we still strongly disagree with the motion. Should social media comment be protected by free speech? No, social media comment should not be protected by free speech at all. Now, before we begin with my reply speech, I would like to rebut some of the statements that the proposition team has stated. The third speaker of the proposition team has stated that there's no voice, no opinion on social media. How can this country be improved? Well, that is not 100% true at all, because according to my research, the social media had their own policy which let users freely express their feeling, opinion online, but with limitation because they don't want fake information or harassment online for others who have opinion other than them. Now, let's get back to our reply speech. First of all, my first speaker has said that social media comment leads to many consequences, such as misleading information, like the COVID case that he explained, which is false because they said that they have small chip that can track us when we inject the vaccine into our body. Furthermore, social media comment can get you bullied online. That is not true, because sometimes people can have different opinion from you, so that you can be online bullied from that. Second, as I have stated before, social media, the reason why social media comment should not be protected by free speech is because of first, social media term policy, because they stated that they can let users freely express. Second, minimize disturb online harassment is to protect user. And third, it is to protect your privacy, because online information, sharing online too much information can affect your privacy too. And lastly, we, the opposition team, is strongly opposed to the motion should social media comment be protected by free speech. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the two teams, and you can have a rest there, okay? Thank you. And we will proceed to the next round.
អរគុណច្រើនបងប្អូនឃើញថាមិញហ្នឹងគឺវេទិកាក្តៅកគុកមែនតើមានការលើកឡើងចាគ្រប់គ្រងមតិរៀងខ្លួនតែម្ដងយើងមិនដឹងថាតើក្រុមណានឹងអាចទទួលនៅឱកាសទទួលជ័យជំនះទេមានតែគណៈកម្មការទេឥឡូវហ្នឹងមើលទៅកលេសទៅមើលមុខគណៈកម្មការដូចតឹងរឹងដល់ហើយចាឥឡូវដើម្បីកុំឲ្យខាតពេលវេលាយូរអូខេចាយើងសុំពេលតិចសិនព្រោះថាក្រុមបន្តគាត់កំពុងតែរៀបចំឥឡូវយើងងាកមកជជែកតាក់ទងទៅនឹងការលើកឡើងរបស់ក្រុមទាំងពីរវិញតែវិញម្ដង មើលមានខាងណាគ្រប់គ្រងខាងណាមានការយកឃើញយ៉ាងណាដែរចំពោះការលើកឡើងរបស់បេក្ខជនបេក្ខនារីយើងអ្នកខាងលើខាងណាល្អអូអព្យាក្រឹតណា ចាយើងឃើញថាកម្មវិធីរបស់យើងនឹងបន្តទៅទៀតមានការចូលរួមពីក្រុមបន្ថែមទៀតចាតែឥឡូវនេះយើងសុំពេលវេលាចាសម្រាប់បន្តិចសិនព្រោះថាពួកគាត់កំពុងតែរៀបចំហើយយើងក៏សូមអរគុណទៅដល់ការចំណាយពេលវេលាយ៉ាងមានតម្លៃរបស់ថ្នាក់ដឹកនាំក៏ដូចជាថ្នាក់គណបតីដែលបានអញ្ជើញចូលរួមផ្ដល់ជាកិត្តិយសនៅក្នុងកម្មវិធីបរិហាឆ្នាំនៅក្នុងវគ្គពាក់កណ្ដាលផ្ដាច់ព្រាត់នេះហើយអរគុណទៅដល់វត្តមានរបស់ ចាមេដាបៃតាលោកគ្រូអ្នកគ្រូដែលអញ្ជើញមកគ្រប់គ្រងចៅកូនក៏ដូចជាលើកទឹកចិត្តទៅដល់កូនចានេះហើយគឺជាកម្លាំងចិត្តមួយដែលយើងចង់បានហើយគ្រប់ប្រធានបទគ្រប់ការលើកឡើងរបស់បេក្ខជនបេក្ខនារីទាំងអស់គឺសិតសឹងតែជាចាការបង្ហាញនៅសមត្ថភាពក៏ដូចជាការលើកឡើងពីទស្សនវិជ្ជាពិតដែលកើតឡើងក្នុងសង្គមពិតដើម្បីឆ្លងបញ្ចាំងជូនទៅដល់ទស្សនិកជនក៏ដូចជាអ្នកដែលគាត់អញ្ជើញមកគ្រប់គ្រងនៅទីនេះចាអរគុណឥឡូវនេះក្រុមចាជាបន្តគាត់បានរៀបចំខ្លួនរួចរាល់ហើយអញ្ចឹងកុំឲ្យខាតពេលវេលាយូរចាអញ្ជើញវត្តមានក្រុមទាំងពីរអញ្ជើញឡើងលើវេទិកាដើម្បីបង្ហាញសមត្ថភាពជូនទៅដល់គណៈកម្មការចាសូមអញ្ជើញ
Welcome to round 2. We have group 4 and group 5, with group 5 as propositions and group 4 as oppositions. We have candidates 67, Deep Suchita, 68, Deep Tavi, and 271, Simjan Liza for group 5 proposition team. And candidates 226, Puan Niza, 231, Tang Pogek, and 349, Vavirasa for group 4 for oppositions. The topic for this round is, should the government provide internet service to every citizen?
Now, we are at the edge of technology. Internet has become a necessity for humans' life. Yet, there are still people who does not have access to the internet access because and the main reason is the government has not played a big role in providing internet service to every citizen. I would like to pay my highest respect to Honorable Excellencies. A pleasant good morning to judges, my beloved teammates, my worthy opponents, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for taking your time to come to this debate. My name is Deep Suchita, candidate number 67. The topic of today's debate is government should provide internet service to every citizen. And we as the proposition team strongly believe that this is true. We believe that the government should provide internet service to every citizen. Before we come to our actual argumentation, let us first define some important key terms in this debate. Internet service means the access or the exchange of a large amount of data, such as software, audio clips, video clips, text files, and other documents. And according to Oxford Dictionary, citizen is an inhabitant of a particular town or city.
Therefore, the whole motion means that the government should provide the access or the exchange of a large amount of data such as software, audio clips, text files, and other documents to every inhabitant of a particular town or city. We, as today's proposition team, have structured our case as follows. First, engaging with citizens in a more effective way. Second, taking economic sector into a higher level. And third, increasing population's access to online education. I, as the first speaker, will be talking about engaging with citizens in a more effective way and taking economic sector into a higher level. Our second speaker will elaborate on increasing the population's access to online education. Our third speaker will do the rebuttal, and then I once again will do the reply speech. Now let's talk about our first argument. Engaging with citizens in a more effective way. Government should provide internet service to every citizen because it makes it easier for government to know its citizens and their needs, to communicate and to implement policies better. They can also limit to certain things like videos or websites, for example, pornography, which are harmful or that can promote terrorism and violence. More importantly, they can also address problems effectively and on time when they have the power to control the internet. Mostly how we get the internet is through ISP, internet service providers, which are not owned by the government, but private companies. Private companies charge everyone for the same price and the same service, and they usually cover areas which there are many people, so it's profitable for them. But if the government takes place in providing the internet access, they can extend the service to more areas and keep the price lower for the lower income families. Just like in the US, they offer the local free government, which which is called a US government-initiated program, and that seeks to subsidize internet for low-income families and households. Moving to our second argument, taking economic sector into a higher level. According to USAID, 61% of Cambodians live in the rural areas, and 70% of them rely on agriculture, fishery, forestry for their livelihoods. In this case, farmers can improve the ability to use the internet provided by the government for the technological devices, so they can work in a more effective way. Ladies and gentlemen, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could reduce poverty and hunger, if farmers could check demand for crops online and use data whether how to best work their soil? Also, with technology literacy, we can reduce the unemployment rates and also improve tourism sector, which mostly the tourists come to visit the rural areas to study about the roots of one country. After raising the two main ideas, our team strongly agree to this motion. Thank you.
So the judges, please kindly be noted that she has already exceeded her time limits, about 36 seconds. Thank you.
Like giving a king household chores to do. If we carelessly forgot our role, then we'll be condemned. A very good morning, especially to His Excellencies, Her Excellencies, honorable adjudicators, prestigious audience, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Welcome to a Hachnam competition semi-final round. My name is Vavi Ryatsa. Standing right here as the first speaker of this debate opposition side, would like to come up and oppose one motion goes by the words, should the government provide internet service to every citizen? To strongly oppose this motion, our team has come up with three major arguments. 1. The government should be the stabilizer rather than the provider. 2. Nationalization leads to the failure of free market. And 3. Nationalization prompts an expansion in joblessness. I, the first speaker, will be responsible for the first argument. Our second speaker, Ms. Tang Pogat, will be responsible for the second and third argument. And last but not least, our third speaker, Ms. Porniaza, will be responsible for putting an end to this whole debate. For now, allow me to define one key term of this motion once again, since the proposition side hasn't mentioned it. The word provide in this term means dominate or control. Therefore, this motion means, should the government dominate or control the internet service to every citizen? For now, let's jump straight into our first argument, which is, the government should be the stabilizer rather than the provider. Right off the bat, I would like everyone to be well informed that in the next few seconds, we will not be attacking or criticizing any specific government, but we will be explaining truth, logic, suggestions, and solutions. For now, the reason why we believe that the government should be the stabilizer are 1. Low productivity and inefficiency. Due to the fact that government businesses are usually not well managed, most businesses owned by the government ends up being mismanaged, and that reduces efficiency of the business. According to polity organizations, the current management team of Eskom, South Africa, has taken the nation to stake 6 for the first time in the history of this nation. This team is perpetually failing to produce sufficient power to avoid load shedding. Under this leadership, load shedding is expected to be with us for the next 2 to 3 years. Satkangila Baluyi, NUM, Eskom Energy Sector Coordinator. 2. Prevention of private initiative. When the government takes over private businesses, there is every likelihood that private initiative will also decrease. This can also be due to lack of competition. 3. Political interference. When the businesses become owned and provided by the government, there is usually political interference that may lead to misallocation of the business. Just take a look at China as an example. Why did they experience power shortage from time to time? Well, these are often a result of a conflict between the market-oriented coal prices and the government-controlled electricity rates. With this being said, we as of the opposition team strongly believe that the government should be the stabilizer, checking up on every businesses, looking after them, after the private initiative, like a parent look after their child, instead of having to own it or provide it. Therefore, for I am the first speaker of this debate opposition side, I strongly oppose this motion. Thank you.
Hello audiences, my name is Diptavi and I'm here as the second speaker of proposition team, believing that government should provide internet service to every citizen. But before I dive into my argument, I would like to rebut to some point that my opponent just said. He mentioned about the private business. It would decrease their income if the government also take part of providing the internet service to every citizen. But please consider this. Private companies, they demand very high price for everyone. Especially in rural areas, some people cannot afford to buy internet, but they would use their money to buy food instead, because most people in rural area is under the poverty line, so they would be spend the money on money rather than internet. And now it is time to my argument. Ladies and gentlemen, wouldn't it be great if all children in the society get access to online education and get more opportunities in life? Yes, it would be great. The third reason why we are proposing this motion is increasing population access to online education. Former US President Barack Obama mentioned one key to strengthening education, entrepreneurship, and innovation in community is to harness the full power of internet, and that means faster and more widely available broadband. In every corner of the society, students demand access to education opportunities. Living in this modern 21st century, we need to ensure that people are up to date with technology usage. It is enable citizens to get information from international platforms and also access information and news in the country. Students can access their courses at any time of day and night. Further, they have continuous access to lectures, course materials, and class discussion. This is a golden opportunity for them to further their higher education by applying online competition, college application, and even scholarship application. Education becomes more convenient, resulting in less dropout rates. In fact, you can find many examples of this in real life. Just think of a negative impact on student dropout during the occurrence of coronavirus. According to the data from Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport, in 2019 to 2020 school year and first during the pandemic, 9.6% of rural students in grade 10 to 12 dropped out, compared to 5.4% in city. Rural students in grade 7 to 9 quit school at an even higher rate, 19.2%, compared to 14% in cities. As you can see, students in rural areas tend to quit school more than those in the city because they cannot afford the price to buy the internet from private companies. But if the government provides the internet service to every citizen, including the rural area, that would be so fantastic. Overall, we as a team still stand on the proposition Thai, strongly agree to this motion. Thank you.
One of the latest inventions done by human beings is said to be the internet. Today, there may be no more resources as powerful and as vulnerable as the internet. With its prominence in today's world, there is a contradiction regarding who should be the provider of it, in which enhancing our stance as today's opposition team to believe and to prove that the government shall not be the distributor of it. To foster our stance, allow me to point out some misperceptions from the previous speaker's speech. She said that it will increase the population of internet access if the government dominates the internet business, which I cannot agree, because it is not convincing enough to put nationalization to an act. Besides, our government already exists as citizen enough, and we should not give them more burdens because of these negotiable problems. Moreover, as being reported by the state government, Cambodia is in the process of a transformation from the command economy to the free market. So if we ask our government to be the internet provider, it looks like we are failing this process because we are violating the rules given by Adam Smith, the father of the economy, which said that free market is only possible when there is limited government control. And you wouldn't want to know the outcome of the falling of free market. However, I'll discuss this concept through our second argument. Nationalization leads to the failure of free market. Ladies and gentlemen, as being mentioned by the Corporate Finance Institute, the absence of governmental influence gives both companies and individuals a wide range of freedom. In a free market economy, business owners could enjoy the freedom of coming up with new ideas, and the innovation among different private initiatives can lead to competition. And the market competition is fundamental for a well-functioning economy, according to the White House government. And this is why President Joe Biden, he actually signed an executive order on promoting marketing competition in the American economy. And in a recent study from McKinney Center for Public Policy argued that By all any measures, the market for internet access is dynamic and competitive and will remain so if the governments do not intervene. Simply, the government shall act like parent, whereas the free market is like children. So parents give all of their support to their child in order to fulfill their dream as long as it is not harming others in a society. Sadly, these extravagant pictures will be shredded into pieces once the free market falls. And believe it or not, the worst is yet to come. With the falling of free market, many people's jobs will be shredded away, will be snatched away from them. How? I'll tell you through our third argument. Nationalization prompts an expansion in joblessness. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine landing on a job thinking that you already secured only to come across a news breakout later on that someone else will take over the company you're working for and all employees will be replaced, which leave you no other option but being jobless. So try to feel the empathy, try to give compassion to those who are likely to lose their job as a result of the falling of a private company, or in our cases, the fall of a private internet companies. These results are consistent in a view that regulation is responsible for an increasing in unemployment during the recessions. So, what's the moral of the story? Workers are better off if we minimize government intervention, which brings me back to my original perspective that the government shall not be the internet provider, in which we do not agree with this motion. Thank you.
A very pleasure good morning to Honorable Excellency, my fellow opponents, and my beloved teammates. Today, please give me. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to the day debates. My name is Lisa. Today, I'm here as a proposition team. We're standing here to disagree with a few statements that our opponent just mentioned at the moment. The first, they said that nation leads to the failure if the government provides internet service to every citizen. As we all know that this is 21st century and everybody needs internet to do everything they want to fit in a digital society. And just to provide internet service to every citizen, that doesn't mean that lead the country failure. Because as we all know that without expenses, there is no income. Do not dare to take risks cannot be successful. If the government help people if the government help people, the people could lift up the economic too. And if we take a look to rural area, the government actually need to provide internet to them because the rural area, there is more people that really need internet. And if the government help them, the government will provide the best price for them, suitable for them to afford. According to World Bank, in Cambodia, 17.8% of population live below the poverty line in 2019. If you think that providing internet to every citizen is lead country to failure, you should think that if the government provide internet service to people, they really think about every edge of things. As we all know that the internet is like the second, the internet help most people to learn everything according to, just like even the internet help people to learn new things. In COVID-19, as you can see that people cannot go in somewhere, we have to study from home, we have to work from home. So if the government provide internet to them, they can use online classes or work from home. Cambodia is just a bit above from the poverty line. That doesn't mean we are rich enough to afford. If we take a look at the rural area, there is so many poor people. If they have money, they should support their family instead of buying internet service. As a proposition team, we strongly believe that the government should give internet service to every citizen. Thank you.
When it comes up to the question, is it good for us to, it is good to provide the internet access by the private organization or the private company? For me, as a Cambodian citizen, my answer must be yes and yes. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm standing here representing my team as the third speaker of the opposition side. Still strongly believe that government should not provide the internet service for all citizens, but actually it should be the private organization or the private company is the one who can provide the internet service for everybody in the whole country. In order to again with the motion, I would like to point out some flaws from what the proposition side has just mentioned. As the first speaker of the government team has mentioned that government could engage with citizens in more effective way. It is lack of proof and not convincing enough, because actually government should be the one who take a look after those private companies. Because if the government is the one who take control on the internet service, so they will spend a lot of money. According to the website called theconversation.com has shown that the government spending on improving the internet access often contribute a large amount of the money. So it will become much more better if the government just take a small part by looking after those private companies, the same as the parent look after the children. Ladies and gentlemen, moreover than that, it will be the best solution and our government can get a lot of advantages from it, especially the tax. Like when we say, according to the PhnomPenhPost.com has shown that our Cambodian government can get the tax from the private companies like as Cellcard or Smart Etc. around $60 million per year. So by getting all of the tax, our government can use it to provide to develop the infrastructure and also the standard of people living. And as the second speaker of my team has mentioned that our country is known as the free market economy. So it will be much more better if the government just provide the internet access. If the government is allowed for the private company to be the one who provide the internet access for everybody. And as the second speaker of the government team has mentioned that it is increased populate access to the internet connection because the government provide the better price for the citizen. That is true, but something else might be more important than this, because when the government is in charge on the product, so the exploitation will become more easier. And the free market is allowed for competition, so there will be two or more groups have to compete each other to provide the same product with the lower price and the cheaper price. This solution goes smoothly, and also the people, we can say the citizen can get the lower price. But if the government is the one who take control on the internet service, then they need to pay a lot of money. But according to the website called thekhmertimes.com, published in June 2022, has shown that our Cambodian international debt is at $9.81 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, it is $9.81 billion. That is a huge amount of the money. And if the government just is the one who provides the internet access for every citizen, it means that our government needs to go and purchase all the stock from the private company. Then the debt will increase higher and higher than before. In conclusion, government should not be the one who provides the internet service for citizens, but government should become the supporter and also the one who take a look after those private companies, the same as the parent look after the children. Finally, I'm standing here at the third speaker of the opposition side, still strongly believe that this motion must not stand. Thank you.
Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome for the last time of today's proposition. It's now my pleasure to summarize this debate and take a look at what both sides have said and see what the outcome of this debate actually is. So our team has mentioned three main ideas. First, engaging with citizens in a more effective way. Second, taking economic sector into a higher level. And third, increasing population's access to online education. Sure, there are risks concerning towards the provision of internet provided by the government, like the opposition team had mentioned. For example, they may take jobs from other business if they have control over the private companies. However, if the government can have the power to control the private companies, they can see what they can see what the private companies are doing, and if the private companies do not do anything wrong that harm people, then they do not have to be worried, and they still have their jobs. Government just want to make sure that they are doing a really good job. It's also not a burden for the government to provide the internet for the citizens, because it's actually their responsibility to look after the citizens and know about their needs. Do you think that private companies will look after the citizens just like the government look after us? Private companies mostly think about only their business purpose, so they may do some bad job with their work. The government may pay a lot of money to build the internet service. However, it's a good way to invest, because it's actually a great way to make sure that everyone has the internet access, both the rural area and the rich people. If you look at the issue from a larger perspective, not just a small corner, the benefits of government providing internet service outweigh the risk by an incredible margin. We need to ensure that people are up to date with the technology, both in the remote areas and the cities. So we can shape our country into a technological one, and we can compete with other nations, so that we won't be behind other nations. That's why it's important to create a foundation and start with having internet access in every part of the whole society. Lastly, we would like to thank the audience once again for supporting us, and this is the last of our debate, and we as the proposition teams standing here still strongly believe that the government should provide internet service to every citizen. Thank you.
Our government are being held to many obligations already, trying to stabilize and develop our country into a better one. Yet we're adding another obligation. Isn't that too much? A very good morning once again, faithful audience, ladies and gentlemen. Up until this very moment, we might have realized something by now, that something doesn't add up, and the government shouldn't be the one who provides us the internet service. But before moving further, allow me to answer the issue of this whole debate. Why shouldn't the government provide us citizens the internet service? Well, logically speaking, every government, including our government, are being held to many obligations, and they're all under a massive burden. Our country is a developing country. Our government are stick to many tasks, trying to turn our country into a better new country. Therefore, they should leave the opportunity of having to own the private businesses, in our case, the internet service, to the private initiative, to run and compete in the free market in order to improve our country economy. The free market is one of the main soul, the main heart, the main core, and one of the main roots of our country economy. So if the government were to take over the businesses, then what have become our free market economy? We will lose one part of our resources in the free market, which is why our side has brought up 3 reasonable arguments to oppose this motion, which is 1, the government should be the stabilizer rather than a provider, because they can lead to low productivity, inefficiency, prevention of private initiative, and most important of all, political interference. 2, nationalization can lead to the failure of free market. And lastly, it can prompt an expansion in joblessness. With this being said, I am hoping and I am wishing everyone to put your belief in us, put your faith in us, support us, and stand by our side. Together, as a Cambodian citizen, we will thrive and support our government in order to develop our country into a better new place. I'm speaking here in the voice of a Cambodian citizen. I can feel the pressure that our government is facing. And we, as of today opposition team, hereby to declare to end all the suffering at once with our citizens, starting from opposing this motion. Quote, in unity, there's strength, end quote. Therefore, we, as of today opposition team, still stand firm, strongly dedicated to oppose this motion once and for all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. So this is the end of round 2. We'll give the judges about 5 to 10 minutes to round up the score, and we'll start with the third round. So in this case, we'll take a 10 minutes break. We'll come back at 11:14.
Bác bị sau nơi bờ tây miền Tây trong càng ngày của hai chân ông cứ anh vậy bán thaแต่รำทดสบายรำเพิบจูจัดคือในของแต่ให้anh vậy bán tha trong nămตีใบนี่เราเดินการตีใบในกรรมที่ว่าชาวในของขายบะตีมินใจนี่คือเชียนำมวยได้กรมการเงียบบ้านเรียบจำบุตรแคมจกใจหมู่โรยเพียรอย
This is good team they have fun here. I feel so happy because I meet a lot of new people. I will have a lot of friends.
The biggest question is why are we here?
Based on my idea, I think that they want to correct us, they want to give us feedback and train us where we don't know and where we haven't heard about and where we need to know. And
Positive energy to your partner. I'm ready.
จากตึกจากในที่นี้ส่งเอาอย่างไทยสามออกที่กรมการเงินอะไรเป็นได้สเตย์ส่งสวัสดิภาพการบริในที่นี้จุดใจจับได้ดูให้บริเวณตัวเจ้าพจิพอติดตั้งอยู่เฉิงง่ายโบเฉิงหลายได้เจอส่งเอาจากตึกใดไทยสามในที่นี้มาเติมมาดูในช่วยมือไทยสามไม่หนักอ้อเอากอดไม่ตายสวัสดิภาพกระโดดเจียบบัตรการเลิกดูไอ้ส่งเอาทางแต่ให้โต๊ะโวยครูก็จะตัดไม่แต่อ้อโอเค
บางมันยังมันเปลี่ยนปี basic of public speaking ให้นั่ง debate ไอ้เอาไว้ในยมกอดสมก็วิมีนปีใบชนใจโดยจริงมวยยมกระทาประกวดทำแต่จะไม่มีเชียร์ไลในชนบทธรรมดาแต่ก็เอาเสริมดังปี basic ต่างๆนั่งแต่ตามประเด็นกลุ่มรัฐไปสร้างเลยในการยุ่งดังประกวดคือครั้งเหมือนกันไอ้จนที่ปีเอาแต่มีกิจการมันทากรุ๊ป discussion หรือก็ยังสู้สนุกได้คือกด very engagement ไอ้นั่ง active ในโครงการเหมือนกันเสริมแต่จุ่มการเลือกได้ดอกเนี่ยไอ้เดี๋ยวมันตั้งแต่กู้เชื่อปีน้าจังกดจูรุมครั้งเหมือนกันนั่งวีจีจนปีแซมมวยได้ยังเคยได้การสลักปีครั้งกรรมที่ใบยังคือสเตนเนปได้ประกายมั้ง
បងអត់អាចទៅអូនដូចផ្ទះសុកស្រួលដូចនៅផ្ទះហើយប៉ុន្តែបងហ៊ានធានាថានៅក្នុងជំរំ50ឆ្នាំគឺជាកន្លែងដែលបោះតង់ដែលក្មេងៗមានអារម្មណ៍ថា fresh ហើយទទួលបានភាពកក់ក្ដៅពីបងជាងជំរំផ្សេងហ៊ានធានាកន្លែងហ្នឹង ពួកអីជឿជាក់ហ្មងថារៀបចំអស់ពីសមត្ថភាពហើយក៏អត់ខ្ជះដែរ
Or else? You keep looking down. 2, 3. That's how you should do your competition. If you go up there on the stage, it's already too late to actually be afraid now because the Sunday is coming. I can't stop the time.
ខ្ញុំអរគុណដល់កម្មវិធីហ្នឹងយ៉ាងខ្លាំងអ្នកគ្រូហើយសារមើលទៅឃើញថាកម្មវិធីនេះល្អធ្វើឲ្យសិស្សក្លាហាន
ខ្ញុំចង់ប្រាប់ម៉ាក់ហើយនឹងប៉ាថាស្អែកទោះបីជាលទ្ធផលចេញមកយ៉ាងណាក៏ដោយប៉ុន្តែខ្ញុំនឹងព្យាយាមអស់ពីសមត្ថភាព
Yeah, even though I passed on art, actually I'm really proud of myself and I want them to be proud of me too. Yeah, I'm really appreciative them because I'm not alone because I have them at least. Thanks to them.
បាទមានពាក្យថាជូនសូមជូនពរកូនឲ្យស្អែកប្រឡងជាប់បានលទ្ធផលល្អហើយនឹងអរគុណចំពោះក្រុមការងារទាំងអស់ដែលក្នុងការប្រឡងប្រជែងកម្មវិធីវោហាឆ្នាំនេះនឹងសូមឲ្យកម្មវិធីនេះឆ្នាំក្រោយទទួលបានការគាំទ្រនិងការលើកទឹកចិត្តឲ្យបានច្រើន
និយាយបានថាអារម្មណ៍អូនគឺពិបាកមែនគឺក៏មានអារម្មណ៍ថាអីក៏ធ្វើដែរបងអាចធ្វើបានជំរុញខ្លាំងដល់គុណទៅដល់លើកទឹកចិត្តបច្ចេកទេសរបស់យើងទាំងអស់ថាបែបផ្សាយកសាយទៅ
ត្រយ៉ងគឺជាបក្សីនិមិត្តរូបនៃកម្ពុជាយើងរួមគ្នាបង្កើតសារព័ត៌មានត្រយ៉ងដើម្បីចូលរួមលើកកម្ពស់កិត្យានុភាពកម្ពុជានិងអភិរក្សសត្វត្រយ៉ងដែលជាសត្វកម្រនិងងាយរងគ្រោះក្រៅពីផ្តល់ព័ត៌មានសារព័ត៌មានត្រយ៉ងមានសេវាកម្មផលិតកម្មវិធីបែបទូរទស្សន៍ផលិតវីដេអូគ្រប់ប្រភេទទទួល live ព្រឹត្តិការណ៍ទទួលរៀបចំសន្និសីទសារព័ត៌មានផលិតសេចក្តីប្រកាសព័ត៌មានផលិតអត្ថបទ PR និងសេវាកម្មជាច្រើនទៀតពាក់ព័ន្ធទៅនឹងប្រព័ន្ធផ្សព្វផ្សាយទៅតាមតម្រូវការរបស់លោកអ្នកត្រយ៉ងផ្ដល់សេវាកម្មប្រកបដោយការទទួលខុសត្រូវគុណធម៌វិជ្ជាជីវៈប្រសិទ្ធភាពប្រសិទ្ធផលនិងសក្តិភាពជាទីពេញចិត្ត
ត្រយ៉ងនាំសារពិតគ្រប់ទីកន្លែង
ត្រយ៉ងគឺជាបក្សីនិមិត្តរូបនៃកម្ពុជាយើងរួមគ្នាបង្កើតសារព័ត៌មានត្រយ៉ងដើម្បីចូលរួមលើកកម្ពស់កិត្យានុភាពកម្ពុជានិងអភិរក្សសត្វត្រយ៉ងដែលជាសត្វកម្រនិងងាយរងគ្រោះក្រៅពីផ្ដល់ព័ត៌មានសារព័ត៌មានត្រយ៉ងមានសេវាកម្មផលិតកម្មវិធីបែបទូរទស្សន៍ផលិតវីដេអូគ្រប់ប្រភេទទទួល live ព្រឹត្តិការណ៍ទទួលរៀបចំសន្និសីទសារព័ត៌មាន
ផលិតសេចក្តីប្រកាសព័ត៌មានផលិតអត្ថបទ PR និងសេវាកម្មជាច្រើនទៀតពាក់ព័ន្ធទៅនឹងប្រព័ន្ធផ្សព្វផ្សាយទៅតាមតម្រូវការរបស់លោកអ្នកត្រយងផ្ដល់សេវាកម្មប្រកបដោយការទទួលខុសត្រូវគុណធម៌វិជ្ជាជីវៈប្រសិទ្ធភាពប្រសិទ្ធផលនិងសក្តិភាពជាទីពេញចិត្ត
ត្រយងនាំសារពិតគ្រប់ទីកន្លែង
ចាសស្វាគមន៍មកកាន់កម្មវិធីវេទិកាវោហាឆ្នាំជាបន្តនៅក្នុងវគ្គពាក់កណ្ដាប់ដៃប្រវត្តិគឺជាការប្រកួតចាវោហាឆ្នាំប្រកួតការនិយាយភាសាអង់គ្លេសជាក្រុមហើយយើងនឹងបន្តកម្មវិធីនេះព្រោះថាយើងនៅសល់តែមួយក្រុមចុងក្រោយទៀតទេកម្មវិធីនឹងត្រូវបញ្ចប់ហើយដូច្នេះនេះខ្ញុំសូមបកគោតននេះទៅកាន់កញ្ញាម៉ារីជាបន្តចាសូមអញ្ជើញ
ចាសូមអរគុណ Next, welcome to round 3. I would like to invite group 3, candidate number 227 Pom Lisa, 29 Cheng Sonita, 130 Lai Yumia for proposition team, and group 1, Diana Bonifacio, candidate 180 Nadat Lili, and candidate 38 Chun Serairot for opposition team. The topic for this round is Are video games too violent for children?
Avatars in video game are being controlled to kill each other without knowing the kid behind the screen are secretly learning from them. Greetings, judges, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's debate. Welcome from the side of the house. Today, our proposition team has come to propose one motion goes by the word, Are video games too violent for kids? We have come up with 3 significant arguments to support our claim. I'm Pom Lisa, the first speaker of our team, will be responsible for our first argument, which is video game emphasize negative theme. Our second speaker will be talking about our second and third argument, which are video game affect children's health and their behavior negatively. Lastly, our third speaker will do the rebuttal, summarize our arguments, and leave you in no doubt that video games are indeed too violent for kids. Before I clarify deeper, allow me to define our keywords. Video game means electronic games that come in the form of console, computers, or mobiles, which player can control the movement of it. Kids stand for small or young children and teenagers under the age of 18. And lastly, violent in this term means aggressive or harmful. Therefore, today's topic can interpret to mean that playing electronic games, either online or offline, are harmful and too intense for kids. Without any further ado, let's start our first argument. As video game industry starting to rise rapidly, more and more kids are playing video games. Ladies and gentlemen, by video game, we do not refer to educational video games such as Minecraft, chess, or Wordscape. However, we're talking about violent video games such as Grand Auto Theft, Manhunt, and Mortal Kombat. According to the American Psychological Association, more than 90% of teenagers play video games, and approximately 85% of those games contain negative themes. Ladies and gentlemen, many video games emphasize violence such as killing, shooting, and stabbing. Additionally, they even promote drug, alcohol, reckless driving, and other criminal behavior that can affect the children greatly. Some even has full language and sexual content. For example, Grand Auto Theft, films with sexual content, gang violence, and full language. On the other hand, Call of Duty are full of intense violence, strong language, and drug reference. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, video games are extremely harmful and too intense for young children to handle. Lastly, as a first speaker of our proposition team, I still strongly agree that video games are indeed too violent for children. Thank you.
If video game were really a cause of violence, this entire world of gamers would be out there right now doing massive violence. And are they? No, they are not. A very good afternoon, Honorable Excellencies, judges, ladies and gentlemen, my proponent team. My name is Diana. I am the first speaker of the opposition team who would like to come here and take the stance to oppose one motion goes by the word. Are video games too violent for children? Well, before I go any further, allow me to give a brief definition to some keywords first. According to Oxford Dictionary, video games is an electronic games that include all kinds of genres that are played on any type of display like computer or screen monitor. And the word violence means the use of physical force with the intent to hurt someone or destroy property. And the word children is young people who are below 18 years old. Therefore, our whole motion means are the games that include violent and non-violent that are played on computer or screen monitor can lead the player who are under 18 years old to involve in physical strength to hurt someone or kill somebody? Well, as the opposition team, we believe that no, video games are not too violent for children. And to oppose this motion, my team has come up with three main arguments. The first argument, assuming video games are too violent for children, is just a misconception due to the lack of parenting. And our second argument, video games do not cause detrimental for children. Instead, it is very beneficial. And our third argument, video game can influence the player to be interested in technology. Well, without any further delay, let's start with our first argument. Assuming video games are too violent for children is just a misconception due to the lack of parenting. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people believe that video games are the cause of violence, but it is just a misunderstanding that has been created and spread. However, if we all take a look at the first place of how children are able to play video games, we can see that children cannot buy video games on their own. They need to get approval from their parent first. And this is parent responsibility to let their child purchase any kind of video games. And according to the ESRB, which is Entertainment Software Rating Board, established that their job is to put age restriction on all kinds of video games. Therefore, the consumer can be told what game content it is before they buy it. However, we all have to understand that the video games that parents are worried about are not meant for children in the first place. For example, Grand Theft Auto, also known as GTA, has an immature rate on it, which means that those who are under 17 years old cannot play that game. And moreover, most parents don't bother to check whether it is suitable for their kids or not. According to the childcare.co.uk, have surveyed more than 2,000 parents, and the results have shown that 86% of parents admit that they don't follow age restriction on video games at all. Therefore, the duty of parents is missing, and it leads to the concern whether their kids are playing violent video games or not. All in all, video games do not have any impact on children as much as poor parenting does. And finally, as the first speaker of the opposition team, I strongly oppose this motion. Thank you.
Greeting His Excellency, judges, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the size of the house once again. My name is Cheng Sonita. I am from the proposition team. Before we go deeper into the topic, let's take a look at what the opponent has said at the moment. They said that it's because of poor parenting that kids play violent video game. But according to the BNI Treatment Center, these violent video games do carry age restriction based on entertainment software rating scale with such category as teen, major, and adult only. For today's debate, I have two main arguments to talk about. The second one is about mental and physical health. Video games are very addictive. According to a website called healthygamer.com, it is said that 8.2 children are addicted to video games, and 4% of them are extreme game addicts that they spend 50 hours playing games. While playing games, your brain releases a dopamine, which is a chemical release that helps people to feel good and by giving the feeling of wanting to play it again and again, repeatedly, and believing that they can obtain the desire of the character whom they are playing. And this is where the addiction started and leads to mental health problems. In fact, you can find many examples of this in real life, such as your brother, your sister, or you yourself who plays game must sometimes skips dinner, skips meal, or not eating, not drinking because you are too addicted to video games that you are not taking your eye off. Moreover, once they play game too much, it will give them an anxiety and depressed feeling. And for physical problems, there are many problems such as the eyes are hurting and leads to myopia. Based on the British Journal of Ophthalmology in 2019 reported that children who spend 3 hours playing games are likely to become myopic. And the third argument is about behavior. Children can be influenced very easily. One factor of video games that change children is that children model themselves as whom they identify in video games. But what if the character that they play in the game involved with inappropriate activity, like the first speaker of my team has already mentioned about those activities such as drugs, abuse, sexual, and violent? What if they adopt those actions? Ladies and gentlemen, it is really harmful for children to play video games. In conclusion, these reasons I've mentioned before are why video games are violent. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this can give you an understanding about how violent video game is and to reduce your time on playing video games and prevent yourself from it. Preventing is better than cure. So if you don't want any harm, stop playing video games. Lastly, we as the proposition team still strongly believe for this motion. Thank you.
Greeting His Excellency, judges, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Narat Lily, and I am the second speaker of the opposition teams against the motion that are video games too violent for children? No, it's not too violent for children. But before I start, my opponent have claimed that when children play video games, it's very addictive for children. But look at the first place. So parents is the person who have full responsibility for children. They should limit screen time for their children. So too much games lead to addiction. Too much social media lead to addiction. But parents, what should they do? Yeah, they have a responsibility to take care of their child. They should limit screen time. When should they play and when should they not? So let's start with my argument. Ladies and gentlemen,
Believing video games are too violent for children is just a curiosity with fear, and most people use video games as like a scapegoat. And our second argument will prove that video games are not too violent for children. In fact, it's very beneficial. According to American psychological associations, they have proved that playing video games can train children's brains to be better. It's improved their attentions, improve their flexibility, expands their visual processing by tracking multiple objects in very small details that non-video game players have that kind of eyesight. Moreover, when children play video games, it's proof that they are capable of looking through problems in different dimensions and make smart decisions in split second. Moreover, according to Dr. Christopher Ferguson, a professor of psychology at Stetson University, also claimed that there's no link between violent video games and real-life violence for children. For example, when children play games like The Legend of Zelda, Lords of Mobile, or the World of Warcraft, children learn to negotiate, make an effective strategy, and try different approaches to win and advance. So nothing really involves with violence for children. And our third argument proves that playing video games are not detrimental for children. In fact, it's a reason for children to be interested in technology. So I know that most of parents don't really recognize about this at all. According to E3 interview, Elon Musk have revealed that if it wouldn't video games, he wouldn't do programming or become a founder of Tesla nor SpaceX. Back then, when he was a child who really passionate about games and other kids are playing in their backyard, he can develop his own games called Blastar and sold it out for $500 since he was 12. And he also claimed that playing video games is a powerful force in getting children interested in technology, and this is true because most of his employees work as a software engineering also admitted that they play video games when they was a child. So therefore, complaining video games are too violent for children doesn't make any sense. So as a result, throughout all of our evidences and our argument, we still strongly disagree that video games are not detrimental for children. And I also believe that judges, ladies and gentlemen, also agree with us too. So please, don't use video games as a target to blame. Thank you.
Greeting, judges, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the side of the debate. Me from proposition team still disagree with what opponent team just mentioned. First, the second speaker just mentioned that video game don't cause aggression, but to the study of Harvard, they do prove that the aggression is also caused from 3 main points. Is 1, 10, possibly caused by the change of hormone, and 2, grow up in a bad environment, such as violence, and 3, the digital, such as violent video game. Study also found that violent video game can cause people all the age to feel less kindness and empathy. Teens who spend more time playing video game can become more likely to get into a fight and become more likely to be aggressive. Video game can impact brain like drugs, alcohol, and drunk do. Also the gambling. And they can change the way the kid think. According to D.R. Gentile, he said that kids are changing the way they think when they spend too much time playing the violent video game. So it's like addiction and adapted. It's like they're learning slowly and slowly to all those violent until they make sure that they can do it really well. And it also affects the neuroticism, which make you prone to anger, depression, highly emotional, and easily getting upset. It also causes disagreeableness and low level of conscientiousness, which cause you to act prone without thinking and breaking the rule, which really lead to the back effects such as bullying and serious violence. And one another point is parent problem. In this 21st century, parents are busy with their own work. And they also report that they spend too much time on their work and they let their children have some fun playing with video game. But who knows? Their children choosing to play violent video game. As just my first speaker just mentioned, 90% of teens nowadays playing video game, and 85% of it they choose to play violent video games. So of course we can see that it's really affect the children, even though the way they think or their behavior. And one more, she is just talking about restriction. We should look at the GTA gaming. They also rated by ESRB, but the seller of that game, even though it was rated to 18 plus or older than that, but the seller, they want the evidence. They also sell it to the kid. The kid can buy and play the violent video game easily. It's still openly playing around the world. And in conclusion, we want to prove that the violent video game are too violent for kids. It's so much negative sense. Both harassment and sexuality. Also, the violence that happening in the world nowadays. As a proposition team, we still strongly believe that the violent video game are too violent for kids, and we should watch them and think about it again. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if violence video games can really cause violence, then can anybody here explain me why I have been playing dating video game for so long and I'm still single? Greeting honorable judges, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Thon Sirayrat, a third speaker from opposition team, stand here to strongly against with what our proposition team has mentioned. First, our proposition team has mentioned that violence video games can cause aggressive behavior. Yes, we agree. But according to Amy Susie-Delang, a senior lecturer in University of London's Department of Economics, say that violence game may agitate children, but this is not the dangerous violence that we care about the most. This speech means that the aggressive behavior that children can cause after they play violence video games cannot cause the dangerous violence that they need to care about the most. Because normally when people do some things, not just only lose on the video games, they always have the feelings of angry. So when they feel angry, normally they're gonna act aggressive, not just playing video games. For example, when children lose on the sport or when they join other competitions such as economics competition, when they lose, normally they're gonna feel aggressive because of what? It is human nature. So if you are blaming video game for aggressive behavior, it's just like you are blaming human nature that born with the anger. Moreover, our proposition team has just mentioned that the video games can cause children to have the addictions. Well, it is true, but as my teammates has already mentioned that everything can lead children to have addictions, just like social media or other things else. When children do it too much, they're gonna have the addictions in it. And is it the fault of video games or is it the fault of who let them play it too much? Well, it is the fault of parent, not the fault of video games, because parent is the one who lead or who allowed their children to play the video games too much. Children didn't have any fault on it because they don't even know that, oh, what is right or what is wrong. So the one who can tell them that which is right or what is wrong, what is good or what is bad is the parents. Parents need to have the high responsibility on children. Furthermore, our proposition team have mentioned that parents nowadays, this is 21st century, that parents is very busy with their job. Yes, I agree. But
if they are really busy with their job, why they give a born to the children? You know, children didn't have anything that it is not the fault of the children. Children didn't tell their parents to give the borns to them. They don't even know. They have nothing in their brain. So parents need to have high responsibility on them. Moreover, our opposition team have mentioned that the violence video games contains the violence picture or the sexual pictures that which is not available for children, so that which is inappropriate for the children. But I want to tell you that every violence video games have the M rate or age restrictions on that. For example, GTA, Grand Theft Auto 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All those type of video games have the M rate on it, which means that it's not suitable for children. So who allowed them to play all those type of video games? Parents. Parents don't even have high responsibility on this part. That's all. Thank you. We still strongly against with this motion.
Greeting once again, judges, ladies and gentlemen. Me from proposition team, we still disagree with what opponent team just mentioned. First is violent. They said the violent video game don't cause aggressive behavior. I just mentioned it before. Like I said, the study from Harvard recently just showed that there are 3 ways that can cause aggression. For example, the violence is also one main point to cause children to be more aggressive. Example, you walking on the street and someone banging to you accidentally. When we just being human being, when they say sorry, we said, you're welcome, I'll say, no, that's fine, and continue walking like nothing if happened. But when they play video game, their mindset is being more aggressive. And when they bang into them, they start to being aggressive, like cursing them or starting the fight. Like I said, they are more likely to get into a fight. And one more point is addiction. My opponent team has mentioned that it's not the children's fault, it is the parent fault. Actually, it's not the parent fault or it's not the kid fault. It's the one who created the violent game. And she just mentioned that GTA has Umbraid or something like that, but we know. I just mentioned, and my second speaker also just mentioned that GTA was rated by ESRB that only 18 plus can play it, but the kid, they still allowed to play it illegally, and it's also one of the most popular. In conclusion, I still strongly believe that games are too violent for kids. It's so much negative scene, such as violent activities, sexual and harassment. It also causes so many bad effects to environment, their own family, and also mislead for themselves. And after, before we say goodbye, we would love to leave one message. Even though we can ban all of the violent video game from this entire world, but we should focus more on this problem, because the kid and the last generation will be the one who make the entire world better. And when they spend too much, we should focus more on what our kid spending time with and seeing. The kid like a white clothes, and these violent video games are throwing the stand on them. Thank you so much for listening.
Blaming video games for violence is like blaming toy cars for car accident. Greetings once again, judges, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to come here and conclude all of our 3 main arguments to emphasize why video games are not too violent for children. But before we go to that part, allow me to raise up some misconceptions that the proposition team have mentioned. They said that Harvard study have shown a link between video games, but there are way many more thousands of studies show no link at all between violent video games and real-life video games. And yes, I agree that video game can lead to a little aggressive behavior and addiction, but if we take a look at this matter, all we need to do is limit the time screen for children. Let them play the games that are suitable for them. And parents should be the one to stick with them and look after them. Stop blaming video games for kids' bad behavior. So now, because video games are made for entertaining purpose only, this is what they ever meant to be. So now, allow me to recap what our team have raised. First, the duty of parents is very important when it comes to video game. Parents should do their job to make sure that their kids play video games and won't be impacted. Because every game has the A rating system on it, and it needs parent guide about it. Apart from that, video game has many other advantages. Player can concentrate more and focus on every little detail. They even solving problems faster, and they are flexible than those who don't play video games at all. Finally, video game can lead the player to be interested in technology. Ladies and gentlemen, technology has become more and more modern every day, everywhere, including on video games. Therefore, players can start to learn about those modern technology by playing video games. Take famous person or multi-millionaire as an example. Some of them have a hobby of playing video games since they were young. And this is what video game can bring us. And stop blaming video games because of this, because the aberration of a few people who are violent and play video game gave all of the other innocent gamers a bad reputation and wrongly labeled us violent and dangerous people. But ladies and gentlemen, please reconsider about this. If people want to be a killer, they don't need video game to turn them into one, because a psycho will always be a psycho. And finally, we, the opposition team, still strongly oppose this motion. Thank you.
So thank you both team, and thank you everyone for your attentions. We have now come to the end of round 3. I will give back the floor to our MCs to continue with our program.
ចាអរគុណច្រើនអរគុណបេក្ខភាពទាំងអស់ចាសូមអញ្ជើញទៅសម្រួលអរិយាប័ត្រអូហូឃើញថាការប្រកួតប្រជែងត្រូវបានបញ្ចប់ទៅយ៉ាងស្វិតស្វាញមែនតើឥឡូវសូមសម្លេងអបអរសាទរក៏ដូចជាគាំទ្រទៅដល់បេក្ខភាពទាំងអស់គ្នាចាការប្រកួតត្រូវបានបញ្ចប់ហើយនៅឡើយលទ្ធផលបន្តិចទៀតវិនាទីដ៏រន្ធត់ក៏ដូចជាភាពក្តុកក្តួលនឹងមកដល់ហើយយើងរងចាំអត់លទ្ធផលទាំងអស់គ្នាមិនដឹងថាតើបេក្ខភាពរូបណាឬក៏ក្រុមណានឹងទទួលបានជ័យលាភីនៅក្នុងការប្រកួតវគ្គកណ្ដាលពាក់កណ្ដាលផ្នែកប្រវត្តិនេះទេមានតែគណៈកម្មការទេដែលដឹងលទ្ធផលទាំងអស់នេះអញ្ចឹងយើងទុកតួនាទីនេះជូនគណៈកម្មការដល់ឡែកចាកម្មវិធីបន្តនេះខ្ញុំក៏សូមគោរពនឹងសូមការអនុញ្ញាតចាអញ្ជើញវត្តមានរបស់ឯកឧត្តមអ៊ុំរាត្រីគណៈអភិបាលនៃអភិបាលខេត្តបន្ទាយមានជ័យចាអញ្ជើញឡើងលើវេទិកាដើម្បីផ្ដល់កិត្តិយសបង្ហាញនៅចំណាប់អារម្មណ៍តាក់ទងទៅនឹងកម្មវិធីនៅក្នុងការប្រកួតនាពេលនេះចាសូមអរគុណ
បាទអរគុណជាបឋមសូមគោរពអាយដាមឃើញសូមប្រធានក្រុមប្រឹក្សាខេត្តទីបញ្ជ័យជាទីគោរពអាយដាមអភិបាលរងខេត្តអាយដាមប្រធានក្រុមការងារអវត្តយុវជនដូចជាលោកប្រធានទីអង្គភាពដែលមានវត្តមាននេះសូមគោរពលោកបណ្ឌិតអង្គសេរីពិសិដ្ឋប្រធានគណៈកម្មការប្រតិបត្តិរៀបចំកម្មវិធីប្រហែលឆ្នាំអស់លោកស្រីអ្នកនាងកញ្ញាក៏ដូចជាបងប្អូនទាំងអស់ដែលមានវត្តមានទីនេះថ្ងៃនេះខ្ញុំពិតជាមានកិត្តិយសមែនទែនដែលបាននឹងសេចក្តីសមរស់រីករាយខ្លៃលែងដែលបានចូលរួមក្នុងកម្មវិធីពាក់កណ្ដាលផ្ដាច់ព្រាត់នៃកម្មវិធីវោហាឆ្នាំដែលក្នុងនេះធ្វើពិតកម្មវិធីថ្ងៃនេះដោយសារអាកាសធាតុទីប្រែដំសសុខាលោកអញ្ជើញជាអធិបតីផ្ទាល់ដោយសារមានបញ្ហាអាកាសធាតុលោកអត់បានអញ្ជើញផ្ដល់ប្រគល់ការងារខាងយើងខ្ញុំក្នុងនេះតំណាងលោកជាអធិបតីរួមជាមួយអាដាមប្រធានក្រុមប្រឹក្សាខេត្តហើយក៏សូមគោរពអាដាមសកលវិទ្យាល័យបាត់ដំបងនិងជាប្រធានគណៈកម្មការគ្រប់គ្រងសកលវិទ្យាល័យជាតិមានជ័យផងដែរខ្ញុំនិយាយត្រង់ពិតជាមានកិត្តិយសនិងមានការរំភើបមែនទែនក្រោយពីបានទស្សនានៅវីដេអូឃ្លីបរបស់ក្រុមការងារដែលបានរៀបចំកម្មវិធីវោហាឆ្នាំនៅប្រទេសមានជ័យហើយជាពិសេសក្រោយបានស្ដាប់បងប្អូនបានបញ្ជាក់ជូនអំបញ្ញមិញហើយជាពិសេសគឺការប្រកួតប្រជែងគ្នាអំបញ្ញមិញនេះ ដែលពាក់ព័ន្ធកម្មវិធី debate នេះគឺយល់ប្រចាំមោទនភាពដោយសារអីដល់ពេលឃើញស្ដាប់ទៅឃើញបានអីដឹងថាអ្នកប្រទីមានជ័យមិនចាញ់អ្នកភ្នំពេញទេហើយមិននិយាយមែនទេហើយគិតថាយើងពិតជាមានអ្នកតំពាំងស្នងសីនឹងសម្រាប់អ្នកប្រទីមានជ័យល្អមែនទេនេះជាមោទនភាពដែលខ្ញុំបានឃើញជជែកគ្នាជាមួយអាដាមធានក្រុងប្រសាខេត្តមិញនេះគឺពិតជាមានមោទនភាពណាស់ហើយយើងដែលមានធនធានមនុស្សនៅក្នុងខេត្តប្រទីមានជ័យខ្ញុំចង់បញ្ជាក់ជូនថាត្រង់កន្លែងនេះមិនមែនតែបងប្អូនទេគឺទីមួយគឺលោកគ្រូអ្នកគ្រូអាណាព្យាបាលដែលបានខិតខំប្រឹងប្រែងតម្រង់ទិសឲ្យបងប្អូនខ្លួនឯងដែលអាចធ្វើមានលទ្ធផលដូចថ្ងៃនេះជាមោទនភាពមែនទែនខ្ញុំគិតថាខ្ញុំនឹងចំនឹងថាយ៉ាងម៉េចទេសូមថាធ្វើម៉េចឲ្យអាដាមលោកអង្គសេរីពិសិដ្ឋជាមួយកម្មក្រុមការនេះសូមបន្តធ្វើម៉េចបើថាវិលជុំយ៉ាងម៉េចក៏ដោយសូមធ្វើម៉េចកុំឲ្យភ្លេចពិធីមានជ័យក្នុងកម្មវិធីនេះបាទហើយយើងខ្ញុំនឹងបន្តរួមគ្នាគ្រប់គ្រងកម្មវិធីនេះមែនទែនបាទហើយដូចជ្រាបស្រាប់ហើយថាកម្មវិធីនេះគឺមានការយកចិត្តដាក់ខ្ពស់មែនទែនពីសំណាក់សម្ដេចកលាហោមសខេងបញ្ញារដ្ឋមន្ត្រីនិងជារដ្ឋមន្ត្រីក្រសួងមហាផ្ទៃហើយលោកជាអ្នកផ្ដួចផ្ដើមហើយដែលកម្មវិធីនេះជាអ្នកផ្ដួចផ្ដើមដោយសម្ដេចកលាហោមហើយនឹងមានការគ្រប់គ្រងពីអាដាមនាយឧត្តមសេនីយ៍កែកញ្ញាលោកជំទាវម៉ៅម៉ាឡៃហើយដែលជាសំខាន់នោះគឺអ្នកស្ថាបនិកគឺអាដាមសសខានិងលោកជំទាវដែលលោកបានខិតខំប្រឹងប្រែងណាស់ដើម្បីធ្វើឲ្យរៀបចំកម្មវិធីនេះឡើងហើយខ្ញុំមិនដឹងថាពីមុនស្ដាប់ដូចខ្ញុំបញ្ជាក់ជូនពីក្នុងការសម្ភាសយើងឃើញតែនៅព្រៃវែងបាត់ដំបងបណ្ដោះប្រទីមានជ័យគឺមោទនភាពមែនទែនដែលយើងបានរួមចំណែកជាមួយគ្នាដើម្បីរៀបចំកម្មវិធីនេះក្នុងនាមខ្ញុំបាទក៏ដូចជាក្នុងនាមរដ្ឋបាលខេត្តទាំងមូលក៏សូមថ្លែងការកោតសរសើរមែនទែនចំពោះនឹងវិតម្លៃខ្ពស់ចំពោះក្រុមការងារប្រតិបត្តិដែលដឹកនាំដោយលោកអង្គសេរីពិសិដ្ឋនិងគ្រូបង្វឹកទាំងអស់ដែលនឹងរួមអ្នកពាក់ព័ន្ធទាំងអស់ដែលបានខិតខំប្រឹងប្រែងរៀបចំកម្មវិធីតាំងពីដំណាក់កាលដំបូងរហូតដល់ពាក់កណ្ដាលផ្ដាច់ព្រាត់នេះដែលយើងទទួលបានលទ្ធផលល្អមែនទែននេះជាមោទនភាពណាស់ហើយតាមកម្មវិធីរហូតដល់ម៉ោងនេះអត់មានអីយើងគិតថាអត់មានអីឆក់ល្វែងទេគឺកម្មវិធីដំណើរការទៅរលូនមែនទែនហើយល្អមែនទែនសម្រាប់កម្មវិធីថ្ងៃនេះហើយយើងគិតថារយៈពេលនេះយើងគិតទៅវាជិត12ខែហើយនៅសល់តែប្រហែលថ្ងៃទៀតដែលនឹងចុងបញ្ចប់ហើយខ្ញុំគិតថាកម្មវិធីនឹងនៅក្រោមអធិបតីភាពអាដាមនាយឧត្តមសេនីយ៍កែកញ្ញាបញ្ញារដ្ឋមន្ត្រីលោកជាអធិបតីលោកបានបញ្ជាក់ជូនខ្ញុំសម្មិញគាត់ថាលោកពងបណ្ឌិតកម្មវិធីប្រជុំអាស៊ានបើថាអត់ទេទោះបីយ៉ាងណាក៏ដោយលោកនឹងអញ្ជើញជាអធិបតីក្នុងកម្មវិធីផ្ដាច់ព្រាត់នៅថ្ងៃទី12មិនច្រឡំទេបាទនេះជាមោទនភាពណាស់ហើយសំខាន់មួយទៀតគឺបញ្ជាក់ឲ្យថាបេក្ខជនទាំងអស់បេក្ខជនបេក្ខនារីទាំងអស់ខ្ញុំឃើញថាពិតជាមានមោទនភាពដែលបានចូលរួមចំណែកជាមួយគ្នាក្នុងកម្មវិធីនេះរួមជាមួយលោកគ្រូអ្នកគ្រូប្រវត្តិបើតាមវីដេអូឃ្លីបដែលយើងឃើញកម្មវិធីនេះពិតជាល្អមែនទែនហើយក៏ចង់បញ្ជាក់ជូនតែថាសំខាន់អ្វីដែលបងប្អូនបានធ្វើនៅពីតាំងពីដើមទីរហូតដល់បច្ចុប្បន្នទោះបីថាកន្លងមកបានចូលរួមចំណែកគ្រប់វគ្គក៏ដោយប៉ុន្តែមិនបានជាប់ដល់វគ្គផ្ដាច់ព្រាត់ក៏ជាមោទនភាពដែរហើយអ្វីដែលខ្ញុំគិតដែលបានឃើញដែលគិតគូរនេះហើយអ្វីដែលបងប្អូនបានបំពេញការងារនេះមិនមែនតែត្រឹមតែភាសាអង់គ្លេសមួយទេខ្ញុំចាក់ជូនយើងមើលមិញយើងមើលគ្រាន់ debate មិញបើសិនវាមានប្រធានបទច្រើនហើយប្រធានបទមួយមានអ្នកស្របនិងអ្នកប្រឆាំងហើយបើសិនតែប្រធានបទមួយហ្នឹងបើយើងគិតថាគិតតែភាសាអង់គ្លេសមួយមិនមែនទេដើម្បីឲ្យបានប្រកួតប្រជែងគ្នាបានដែលយើងប្រជែងគ្នាមិញមិនដឹងថាស្រាវជ្រាវប្រហែលថ្ងៃបានព័ត៌មាននឹងមកហើយស្រាវជ្រាវគ្រប់ឯកសារទាំងអស់នេះខ្ញុំជូនមោទនភាពណាស់ដែលគាត់បានបងប្អូនបានខិតខំប្រឹងប្រែងប្រឹងប្រែងស្រាវជ្រាវឲ្យបានប្រកួតប្រជែងគ្នាបានបញ្ចេញគេហៅថាសមត្ថភាពឲ្យយើងខ្ញុំបានឃើញមិញនេះជាមោទនភាពមែនទែនហើយចង់បញ្ជាក់ជូនថាអ្វីដែលយើងអនុវត្តជាក់ស្ដែងដែលបងប្អូនបានស្រាវជ្រាវនេះមិនមែនត្រឹមតែការសិក្សារៀនសូត្រដល់ខ្លួនឯងទេមកស្រាវជ្រាវរយឃើញទស្សនវិជ្ជាជាក់ស្ដែងនៃការអនុវត្តជាក់ស្ដែងជាពិសេសការដឹកនាំដូចនៅក្នុងប្រទេសកម្ពុជាក៏ដូចជាលើពិភពលោកបាទគ្រប់រឿងទាំងអស់ដូចនិយាយខ្ញុំឧទាហរណ៍ថាដូចពាក់ព័ន្ធនឹងរឿងបញ្ហាវីដេអូហ្គេមមួយវាមិនមែនតែរឿងបញ្ហានៅកម្ពុជាណាលើពិភពលោកណាអ្នកខ្លះបញ្ជាក់ថាអានោះវាធ្វើឲ្យប៉ះពាល់ប៉ុន្តែក្រុមមួយទៀតថាមិនមែនទេមិនធ្វើឲ្យប៉ះពាល់នោះមានការបង្ហាញអញ្ចឹងដើម្បីឃើញថាមានតលិកច្បាស់លាស់តខិតខំប្រឹងប្រែងស្រាវជ្រាវមិនដឹងថាខ្ញុំគាត់ថាអរគុណលោកគ្រូដែលជួយតម្រង់ទិសដល់ពួកបងប្អូនអាចធ្វើការបានស្រាវជ្រាវបានលទ្ធផលនឹងជាមោទនភាពណាស់នេះជាចំណុចដែលខ្ញុំចង់ជូនហើយក៏អរគុណជាពិសេសគឺក្រុមការងារតែម្ដងយើងមើលប្រធានបទទាំងប្រមាណនេះគឺប្រធានបទល្អណាស់ដែលធ្វើឲ្យយើងបានយកមកសិក្សាហើយខ្ញុំគិតថាសុំថាសរុបទៅសុំធ្វើម៉េចទុកឯកសារទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងទុកឲ្យខាងយើងខ្ញុំផងព្រោះមកទៅដល់ចប់ទៅក្រុមការងារយុទ្ធប័ណ្ណវិកខ្ចប់យុទ្ធប័ណ្ណអត់ទេសុំទុកនៅខាងយើងខ្ញុំដើម្បីឲ្យយើងខ្ញុំនេះអាចបង្ហាញព្រោះនៅទីនេះមានដូចជ្រាបស្រាប់ហើយវិទ្យាល័យរហូតដល់30 ហើយចំណុចទាំងអស់នេះមិនមែនត្រឹមតែសិស្សវិទ្យាល័យទេវាអាចឈានដល់ឲ្យសិស្សនៅតាមសាកលវិទ្យាល័យទៀតដើម្បីជួយគាត់សិក្សាស្វែងយល់បន្ថែមអំពីកម្មវិធីផ្សេងៗនេះក៏ដូចជាប្រធានបទមួយចំនួនដែលពាក់ព័ន្ធរឿងកម្មវិធីនេះជុំវិញបញ្ហាការងារនេះខ្ញុំចង់បញ្ជាក់ជូនបន្ថែមប៉ុណ្ណឹងហើយសំខាន់មួយទៀតគឺបង្ហាញឲ្យបងប្អូនមានភាពនិយាយត្រង់ខ្ញុំមិននឹកស្មានដល់អញ្ចឹងក្លាហានមែនទេគាត់អត់ខ្វល់អត់ភ័យហើយពេលខ្លះក្លាហានជាងថ្នាក់នាំយើងទៀតគាត់និយាយហ្នឹងគាត់ប៉ុន្តែចេញមកគឺអត់មានភ័យខ្លាចទេណាខ្លាហានហើយប្រើប្រាស់ពាក្យសម្ដីវោហាកាយវិការគឺល្អមែនទែនសម្រាប់បងប្អូនដែលបានធ្វើការងារនេះខ្ញុំគិតថាវាផ្ដើមចេញពីទី1អ្នកគ្រប់គ្រងអ្នករៀបចំកម្មវិធីហើយលោកគ្រូអ្នកគ្រូអាណាព្យាបាលហើយខ្លួនឯងដែលអាចធ្វើឲ្យបានគ្រប់កម្មវិធីទាំងអស់នេះជាអ្វីដែលខ្ញុំបានបញ្ជាក់ជូនបន្ថែមដែលខ្ញុំការសង្កេតឃើញរបស់យើងខ្ញុំទេនេះជាចំណុចមួយចំនួនដែលខ្ញុំចង់បញ្ជាក់ជូនហើយយើងគិតទៅថាអ្វីដែលយើងធ្វើបានដល់ថ្ងៃនេះដោយបញ្ជាក់ជូនហើយថាក្រោមការដឹកនាំប្រកបដោយគតិបណ្ឌិតរបស់សម្ដេចនាយកនាយរដ្ឋមន្ត្រីដែលយើងមាននយោបាយឈ្នះបាទហើយមានសុខសន្តិភាពពេញផ្ទៃអញ្ចឹងអ្នកណាក៏អាចធ្វើបានប្រើចេញពីនេះឯងអញ្ចឹងមិនយើងចាប់ប្រើមានកម្មវិធីផ្សេងជាពិសេសថ្នាក់នាំចេះតែគិតឲ្យគ្រប់គ្រងទៀតដើម្បីឲ្យកម្មវិធីនឹងបន្តមានកម្មវិធីនឹងចេះតែបន្តគ្នាហើយប្រើចេញពីនេះក៏បញ្ជាក់ជូនផងដែរថាអ្វីដែលជាការរៀបចំកម្មវិធីនេះឡើងវាស្របទៅតាមនយោបាយគោលនយោបាយរបស់រដ្ឋាភិបាលដំណាក់កាលទី4នេះវាចំគឺការអភិវឌ្ឍធនធានមនុស្សជាអតិភិបចម្បងគេមុនគេដែលពីមុនយើងគិតថាធនធានមនុស្សវានៅក្រៅទៅលើអត់ទេព្រោះដោយសារអីដោយសារប្រទេសកម្ពុជាយើងឈានឆ្ពោះទៅកាន់ការអភិវឌ្ឍកាន់តែខ្ពស់ដល់អញ្ចឹងទៅទាមទារត្រូវមានធនធានមនុស្សដែលសំខាន់បំផុតឥឡូវយើងមើលប្រទេសគេផ្សេងគឺមនុស្សដែលសំខាន់ហើយខ្ញុំឃើញបងប្អូនបាញ់មិញជាការអនុវត្តជាក់ស្ដែងមកខ្ញុំឃើញតែមើលសំខាន់បងប្អូនដែលពាក់ព័ន្ធនឹងវីដេអូចុងក្រោយនេះក្រុមចុងក្រោយអត់បានរំលេចបើនៅប្រទេសគេយើងឃើញក្មេងទូចតាំងពីទូចឥឡូវយើងមើលបងប្អូនភាគច្រើនអត់ប្រើវ៉ែនតាបងប្អូនស្រុកគេទូចប្រើវ៉ែនតាដោយសារអីដោយសារវីដេអូហ្គេមហ្នឹងឯងដែលជាសារៈប្រយោជន៍បានផលប្រយោជន៍នឹងមានតែអញ្ចឹងគេអភិវឌ្ឍធនធានមនុស្សគេកាន់តាំងពីនឹងទៅហើយគេគិតគូរមែនតើអញ្ចឹងនេះខ្ញុំចង់បញ្ជាក់ជូនពីអ្វីដែលកម្មវិធីនេះរៀបចំឡើងវាស៊ីស្របគ្នាជាមួយនឹងយុទ្ធសាស្ត្រចក្រកោណរបស់ដំណាក់កាលទី4របស់រាជរដ្ឋាភិបាលតែម្ដងចំតែម្ដងបាទហើយយើងកំពុងតែខិតខំប្រឹងប្រែងព្រោះឥឡូវជាគោលដៅរបស់រាជរដ្ឋាភិបាល2015នេះ2030នៅខ្លាយទៅជាប្រទេសដែលមានចំណូលមធ្យមកម្រិតខ្ពស់ហើយនឹងបន្តទៅមុខទៀតយើងកម្ពុជាយើងកុំតែបញ្ហាកូវីដ2ឆ្នាំនេះมันមានបញ្ហាសេដ្ឋកិច្ចខ្ពស់មែនទែនបាទនេះចង់បញ្ជាក់ជូនដែលក្រមការដឹកនាំប្រកបដោយគតិបណ្ឌិតរបស់សម្ដេចនាយកនាយរដ្ឋមន្ត្រីរបស់យើងនេះជុំវិញបញ្ហាការនេះខ្ញុំចង់បញ្ជាក់ជូនបន្ថែមមួយចំនួនប៉ុណ្ណឹងទេប៉ុន្តែអ្វីដែលសំខាន់ដែលយើងរកឃើញនៅពេលនេះគឺទី1គឺបងប្អូនមានភាពរឹងមាំខ្លួនឯងដែលសំខាន់តែខ្ញុំចង់បញ្ជាក់ជូនណាមានភាពក្លាហានហើយរឹងមាំខ្លួនឯងដែលអាចយកឈ្នះផ្សេងទាំងអស់ដែលធ្វើឲ្យបងប្អូនមានលទ្ធភាពដែលសំខាន់ហើយភាពវៃឆ្លាតនិងទេពកោសល្យរបស់បងប្អូនខ្ញុំបញ្ជាក់ជូនវិញណានេះរឿងមួយដែលល្អមែនតើដែលផ្ដើមចេញពីការតម្រង់ទិសរបស់ក្រមការងារតាំងពីដើមទីរហូតដល់បច្ចុប្បន្ននេះអានេះសំខាន់ដែលខ្ញុំចង់បញ្ជាក់ជូនហើយសំខាន់ដែលបងប្អូនអាចមានលទ្ធភាពទី2នេះទី1គឺមានការតម្រង់ទិសពីលោកគ្រូអ្នកគ្រូអាណាព្យាបាលហើយនឹងខ្លួនឯងហើយសំខាន់ដែលមកចូលមកក្នុងក្រុមនេះដែលសំខាន់ពីមុនមកយើងធ្លាប់ធ្វើការធ្លាប់រៀនសូត្រតែម្នាក់ឯងក្នុងក្រុមគ្រួសារបើឥឡូវអត់អញ្ចឹងទេជាក្រុមដែលសំខាន់ការងារធ្វើការងារជាក្រុមនេះជាការមួយដែលល្អមែនទែនដែលយើងអាចសម្រេចជោគជ័យបានយើងមិនអាចថាអីការសម្រេចចិត្តដោយបុគ្គលខ្លួនឯងម្នាក់ឯងទេបាទនេះជារឿងមួយចាំបាច់មែនទែននេះជុំវិញបញ្ហាការងារដែលបងប្អូនបានធ្វើនោះគឺជាការមួយដែលល្អមែនទែនប៉ុន្តែគាត់ចង់បញ្ជាក់ជូនថាកត្តាចាញ់កត្តាឈ្នះមិនសំខាន់ទេសំខាន់បទពិសោធន៍បងប្អូនដែលបានចូលរួមក្នុងកម្មវិធីវោហាឆ្នើមនេះជាកម្មវិធីមួយដ៏ល្អមែនទែនដែលបងប្អូនអាចសិក្សាយកបទពិសោធន៍ដើម្បីបន្តទៅក្នុងជីវិតរបស់ខ្លួនឯងបន្តទៅមុខទៀតចង់បញ្ជាក់ជូនថាពីសម័យខាងយើងខ្ញុំនេះចាស់នឹងអង្គុយទីនេះមិនដែលមានកម្មវិធីអញ្ចឹងទេណាមិនដែលមានទេអញ្ចឹងបានថាបងប្អូនមានសំណាងល្អណាស់ដែលបានសិក្សារៀនសូត្រពីគ្រប់ភាសាតាមគ្រូក៏មានបទពិសោធន៍ហើយមានរៀបចំកម្មវិធីផ្សេងៗឲ្យបងប្អូនមានលទ្ធភាពក្នុងការចូលរួមប្រកួតជាមួយគ្នាបាទនេះខ្ញុំបាទចង់បញ្ជាក់ជូនបន្ថែមប៉ុណ្ណឹងហើយក៏សូមបញ្ជាក់ថាបន្ថែមថាប្រសិនតែបងប្អូនខ្លះដែលគាត់មិនបានជាប់តាំងពីដើមវគ្គរហូតដល់បញ្ញនេះឥឡូវដូចថាក្នុងវគ្គពាក់កណ្ដាលប្រាច់ប្រត់នេះបើមិនបានជាប់ទៀតទូកុំអន់ចិត្តប៉ុន្តែត្រូវសប្បាយចិត្តខ្លួនឯងវិញថាខ្លួនឯងបានមានមោទនភាពមានសមត្ថភាពចូលរួមក្នុងកម្មវិធីហ្នឹងអញ្ចឹងមើលត្រូវសិក្សាបន្ថែមទៅចំណុចណាដែលនៅខ្វះខាតដើម្បីបន្តទៅកម្មវិធីផ្សេងទៀតព្រោះខ្ញុំគិតថា ដំណសសុខាលោកមានកម្មវិធីច្រើនហើយរួមជាមួយនឹងក្រសួងអប់រំយុវជនកីឡានិងកម្មវិធីផ្សេងៗទៀតខ្ញុំគិតថាបងប្អូនអាចនឹងបន្តរឿងនេះបន្ថែមទៀតដើម្បីសិក្សាខ្លួនឯងថាខ្វះចន្លោះអីខិតខំប្រឹងប្រែងបំពេញក្នុងដើម្បីធ្វើម៉េចរួមចំណែកចូលរួមចំណែកប្រកួតប្រជែងជាមួយគ្នាបន្តទៀតបាទហើយក្នុងនាមរដ្ឋបាលខេត្តខ្ញុំសូមបដិញ្ញាថានឹងបន្តសហការជាមួយក្រុមការងារបន្តទៀតដើម្បីឲ្យកម្មវិធីនេះដើរទៅដោយរលូនហើយបញ្ចប់ទទួលបានជោគជ័យក្នុងវគ្គប្រាច់ព្រាត់នៅពេលខាងមុខនេះមិនយូរទេបើយើងគិតថ្ងៃនេះថ្ងៃ5ហើយថ្ងៃ12យ៉ាងថាទាំងថ្ងៃប្រពៃពិធីតែម្ដងដូចជាតែ6ថ្ងៃការត្រៀមការត្រៀមបងប្អូនទៅ6ថ្ងៃអញ្ចឹងថ្ងៃទី7គឺថ្ងៃឡើងរិញឯងចុងក្រោយឯងបាទនេះខ្ញុំជជុំវិញបង្ការថ្ងៃនេះហើយយើងនឹងបន្តរួមគ្នាប៉ុន្តែអ្វីដែលសំខាន់មួយទៀតក៏សំណូមពរឲ្យក្រុមការនេះគិតចេះដោយសារថ្នាក់ដឹកនាំរបស់យើងមាន2រូបដែលសំខាន់គឺសម្ដេចកន្លះហោមសខេងនិងអាដាមបញ្ញារដ្ឋមន្ត្រីកាយវិញ្ញាណអញ្ចឹងសូមថាប្រធានបទដែលរើសទៅសូមធ្វើម៉េចពួកគាត់ហាក់ដូចជាវរៈរបស់ក្រុមយើងហើយអញ្ចឹងថាប្រធានបទនេះទៅស៊ីជាមួយថាជាស្នាដៃរបស់លោកដើម្បីឲ្យធ្វើម៉េចឲ្យបងប្អូនបានដឹងបន្ថែមព្រោះកន្លងមកមានហើយពាក់ព័ន្ធនឹងការងារសង្គមអីផ្សេងៗច្រើនប៉ុន្តែសំខាន់ចង់ធ្វើម៉េចឲ្យរំលេចពីស្នាដៃរបស់លោកផងអញ្ចឹងសូមឲ្យក្រុមការងារសូមជួយពិនិត្យទៅលើកម្មវិធីនេះនេះចង់ជូនបន្ថែមដើម្បីឲ្យបងប្អូនបានដឹងបន្ថែមព្រោះជាទូទៅនិស្សិតនៅទីនេះមន្ត្រីរាជការនៅខេត្តបន្ទាយមានជ័យភាគច្រើនលោកបានដឹងហើយប៉ុន្តែនៅបងប្អូននៅឡើយមិនទាន់បានច្បាស់អញ្ចឹងសូមបន្ថែមលើការនេះបន្ថែមហើយសូមបន្តថាធ្វើម៉េចសូមឲ្យបងប្អូនបន្តខិតខំប្រឹងប្រែងព្រោះវគ្គប្រាច់ព្រាត់នេះតឹងតែងណាស់បាទតឹងតែងណាស់អញ្ចឹងសូមធ្វើម៉េចប្រឹងប្រែងបន្តទៀតថាបង្កើនសមត្ថភាពថែមទៀតដើម្បីធ្វើម៉េចវាយលុកព្រោះតាមខ្ញុំដឹងក្រុម debate 6ក្រុមនេះដូចគេជ្រើសរើសយកតែ2ក្រុមទេណាសម្រាប់ចុងក្រោយទីទៀតនឹងលទ្ធផលតែ2ក្រុមអញ្ចឹង2ក្រុមនោះប្រហែលជាក្រុមឆ្នើមហើយខ្ញុំមិនដឹងថាណាមួយបានលេខជួយលេខ2បន្តទៀតអញ្ចឹងមកសុំថាធ្វើម៉េចប្រឹងប្រែងបន្តគ្នាដើម្បីធ្វើម៉េចឲ្យទទួលបានជោគជ័យបន្ថែមអញ្ចឹងក្នុងនាមខ្ញុំមិនមានអីវែងឆ្ងាយសូមមានតែប៉ុណ្្នឹងទេសូមអរគុណចំពោះក្រុមការងារដែលបានខិតខំប្រឹងប្រែងរៀបចំឲ្យមានកម្មវិធីនេះហើយដំណើរការបានទទួលបានរលូនជោគជ័យនៅក្នុងពេលនេះហើយក៏សូមអរគុណចំពោះអ្នកពាក់ព័ន្ធទាំងអស់ដែលបានរួមគ្នាសហការជាមួយនឹងក្រុមការងារដែលបានធ្វើឲ្យដំណើរការនេះទទួលបានជោគជ័យមកដល់ពេលនេះហើយសូមបន្តថ្មីរួមគ្នាបញ្ចប់កម្មវិធីនេះឲ្យទទួលបានជោគជ័យនៅពេលដ៏ខ្លីខាងមុខនេះក៏សូមអរគុណចំពោះអ្នកពាក់ព័ន្ធដែលបានចូលរួមឧបត្ថម្ភកម្មវិធីនេះផងដែរហើយក៏សូមជូនពរបងប្អូនសង្ឃឹមថាយើងទទួលបានលទ្ធផលល្អនៅពេលដ៏ខ្លីខាងមុខនេះនៅលទ្ធផលនេះជាពិសេសគឺនៅពេលដែលចុងបញ្ចប់នៃវគ្គប្រាច់ព្រាត់បាទសូមមានប៉ុណ្ណឹងសូមអរគុណនិងសូមជូនពរឲ្យដល់មកលោកស្រីអ្នកនាងកញ្ញាដែលមានវត្តមានទីនេះក៏ដូចជាលោកគ្រូអ្នកគ្រូជាពិសេសគណៈមេវិយោគដែលខិតខំប្រឹងប្រែងលះបង់ពេលវេលាមករួមចំណែកជាមួយខាងយើងខ្ញុំដើម្បីធ្វើម៉េចឲ្យដំណើរការកម្មវិធីនេះទទួលបានជោគជ័យនិងសូមជូនពរឲ្យទទួលបាននៅពរទាំងឡាយ4ប្រការអាយុវណ្ណៈសុខៈពលៈកំបីគ្លៀងលេតបាទសូមអរគុណបងប្អូន
ចាសូមអរគុណសូមអរសាទរចាសូមគោរពអរគុណនៅប្រសាសន៍យ៉ាងមានអត្ថន័យដែលឯកឧត្តមបានឆ្លុះបញ្ចាំងអំពីកម្មវិធីយើងទាំងមូលយ៉ាងម៉េចដែរបន្ទាប់ពីទទួលបានការលើកទឹកចិត្តពីថ្នាក់ដឹកនាំបែបនេះយុវជនយើងទាំងអស់គ្នាសូមសម្លេងហៅលើកទឹកចិត្តខ្លួនឯងមួយមិនបានខាងនេះអ្នកហៅវិញចុះបេក្ខជនបេក្ខនារីយើងមកឥឡូវលើកទឹកចិត្តឲ្យខ្លួនឯងមួយWho are we ខ្សោយម៉េះបើយើងអាណិតគណៈថាបតីយើងលោកខំលើកទឹកចិត្តយើងមែនតែនតាក់ទងទៅនឹងការប្រកួតនេះមិនមែនងាយទេតម្រាំតែយើងមានថ្ងៃនេះអញ្ចឹងហើយយើងត្រូវតែលើកទឹកចិត្តទោះបីយើងទទួលបានជោគជ័យឬក៏មិនទទួលបានជោគជ័យក្តីតែនេះយើងចាត់ទុកថាជាជំហានថ្មីមួយឆ្ពោះទៅកាន់ភាពជោគជ័យនាពេលអនាគតរបស់យើងអញ្ចឹងម្ដងទៀត Who are we Who are we? And what are we here for? What are we here for? Okay អរគុណសូមសម្លេងគាំទ្រទៅដល់បេក្ខជនបេក្ខនារីយើងទាំងអស់គ្នាចាយើងពិតជាកោតសរសើរមែនតើនៅការបង្ហាញសមត្ថភាពរបស់បេក្ខជនបេក្ខនារីក៏ដូចជាបេក្ខភាពរបស់យើងហើយដូចបានជម្រាបជូនអញ្ចឹងនៅក្នុងបន្តិចទៀតនេះយើងនឹងធ្វើការប្រកាសនៅលទ្ធផលវិនាទីក្តុកក្តួលបានមកដល់ហើយយុវជនយុវនារីបេក្ខភាពរបស់យើងត្រៀមខ្លួនហើយឬនៅ Are you ready ខ្សោយម៉ែអូនទៅជាអ្នកខាងលើនេះគេពុះកជ្រោលជាងទៀតនេះអ្នកខាងលើនេះ ចាឥឡូវនេះយើងទុកពេលវេលាឲ្យគណៈកម្មការយើងលោកបូកសរុបបន្ទុកបន្តិចសិនដើម្បីទទួលបានលទ្ធផលហើយយើងធ្វើការប្រកាសនៅក្នុងពេលបន្តិចទៀតនេះឥឡូវយើងសុំពេលបន្តិចដើម្បីសុំចំណាប់អារម្មណ៍ពីគណៈកម្មការរបស់យើងថាតើលោកមានការបង្ហាញនៅមតិយោបល់យ៉ាងណាខ្លះចំពោះការប្រកួតក៏ដូចជាចំពោះបេក្ខភាពដែលលោកដែលប្រកួតទៅតែបញ្ចប់ចាការប្រកួតទៅនៅក្នុងពេលមុននេះចាសូមអញ្ជើញ
First of all, I would like to pay my high respect to our governor at Banteay Meanchey and also all participants here. So thank you so much for your participation and also for the candidate. I have some comments. So basically, first part which is about the public speaking. For the first time when I come here, many of you at different levels. So which means that you need many improvement. But after the training and also after your efforts, and I see many people of you have improved a lot, that beyond our expectation as the trainer, because we don't believe that you can do that today, because which means that from our first assessment, you have a lot of limitation that we could not expect that you could do it today. But for example, for some of you that even on the first round and second round, you believe that you could not do it, but right now you can see that you can do it a lot better. So which means that you have a lot of gesture, you have movement, your language has been improved, and for your confidence is at the very highest level. As our governor has mentioned earlier, you are even more confident than many public officers in the government, for example. So this is very, from our trainer perspective, we are very proud of your effort and also your commitment in order to improve yourself, okay? And so for the debate team, the debate team has done a very great job. So you have tried your best in order to do the research, and allow me to explain a little bit about the debate. So debate is just beyond the language, as our governor has already mentioned, that debate is beyond the preparation that you have done at home. So which means that compared to the public speaking, they need to do the preparation at home, and also they need to do another preparation at the stage. So which means that when you hear the new argument emerge, you need to prepare and then respond simultaneously. Sometimes you did not prepare it at home at all, because this argument can emerge immediately on the stage. So which means that it's go into the levels of critical thinking and also high flexibility in order to respond to the argument from the other side. So today you all have done a great job, and we really appreciate your efforts. We believe that you have tried very hard in order to go through a lot of challenges in order to stand on the stage here, and also trying to present your ideas and argument to the audience and also the participant here, okay? So, but we also have some common, because I don't have much time for the others common letter. So especially for the debate team. So please, when you do the debate, don't forget to understand your topic clearly, okay? Because this is what I have already trained the public speaking team. The debate topic is very important. If you do not understand your topic, or if you don't identify the component of your topic, you will go off track. So just like the car go off the road, okay? So you need to understand the component. If you talk about the case of example of the violence and so on and so forth, don't forget to understand the term adjective here. You need to define the term clearly and understand the relation, okay? Otherwise, the opponent can attack you easily. So for the next round of the competition, for the debate team especially, please try to put more efforts on your topic. If you don't understand the topic, you will be under attacks. And if you are under attack, you will be lose, okay? So far, the word from our judging committee. So thank you so much for your effort, and also thank you so much for all of the participants here, and also the governors for the time for being here, and also thank you everyone, and wish you all good luck for the final round, okay? Thank you.
ចាអរគុណច្រើនយើងសូមបន្តទៅគណៈកម្មការជាបន្តទៀតបង្ហាញនៅចំណាប់អារម្មណ៍ចាសូមអញ្ជើញ
So first of all, I would like to pay my high respect to the governor and also His Excellency. So I have actually I have listened to the public speaking and also the debate, and I think that you all have done a great job, and especially for the research. I think that you have raised the data, also the figure, so that is it indicates that you have spent a lot of time and effort on finding the data and also information to support your argument. And also about the debate team, I think you all have done a great job as well. I think you have find a lot of argument, and especially you find the research from the other institution and the media. And some debate team I have also noticed that you have done a great job, that you have a great cooperation among your team, that you have present a particular argument, and at the same time your team also came and to defend your argument as well. So that is a great job, and you've done a great job, and thank you so much everyone. Okay.
First of all, let me pay my high respect to the Governor and His Excellency, and cheerful to all participants here. You have done a very great job, and I'm very happy to see all of you guys here with the very big effort. And I can see that all of you have a good preparation for this competition, and I hope to see you guys with the next competition, like with more like development of yourself. And thank you.
First of all, I would like to pay my respect to His Excellency, honorable guests, and everyone who participated in the event today. Okay. First of all, I would like to appreciate all kind of effort that you put into your presentation, as well as your debate. You have come with a lot of solid argument, along with a lot of interesting examples, and you also show me that you have confidence. Okay, you may not win the competition today, but you have won yourself. Okay, thank you so much.
ចាអរគុណច្រើនអរគុណច្រើននៅការបង្ហាញចំណាប់អារម្មណ៍ពីគណៈកម្មការយើងឥឡូវនេះវិនាទីដែលយើងកំពុងតន្ទឹងរង់ចាំបានមកដល់ហើយចាអញ្ចឹងឥឡូវនេះនាងខ្ញុំសូមទាញចំណាប់អារម្មណ៍បន្តិចសិនយើងកុំតាន់អានព្រោះថាវិនាទីពិសេសអញ្ចឹងយើងរៀងរំភើបរំជួលបន្តិចណាយើងទាញចំណាប់អារម្មណ៍តាក់ទងទៅនឹងការរងចាំពីកាច់បេក្ខជនបេក្ខនារីបេក្ខភាពរបស់យើងវិញឥឡូវនេះអ្នកណាគេខ្លះដែលសង្ឃឹមថាខ្លួនឯងនឹងជាប់នៅក្នុងវគ្គពាក់កណ្ដាលប្រវត្តិហើយឈានទៅដល់វគ្គផ្ដាច់ព្រាត់លើកដៃអូមានអីគេឡើងមក Please believe yourself មកបងសំណងទៀតអ្នកណាខ្លះជឿជាក់ថាខ្លួនឯងអាចឈានទៅដល់វគ្គផ្ដាច់ព្រាត់បានលើកដៃ Why Please អូខេអញ្ចឹងឥឡូវយើងលើកទឹកចិត្តខ្លួនឯងណាទោះបីជាយើងបានទទួលជោគជ័យឬក៏មិនបានទទួលជោគជ័យក្តីសូមកុំអាក់អន់សពុនចិត្តដោយដែលប្រសាសន៍របស់ថ្នាក់ដឹកនាំយើងក៏លោកបានលើកទឹកចិត្តហើយនេះគឺជាវេទិកាដ៏ពិសេសមួយសម្រាប់បងប្អូនដែលហ៊ាននិយាយថាសឹងតែអ្នកខ្លះក៏គាត់មិនមានឱកាសនឹងបានឈរនៅលើវេទិកានេះផងប៉ុន្តែពួកយើងអាចឈានមកដល់ដំណាក់កាលពាក់កណ្ដាប់ដៃព្រាត់នេះគឺសមត្ថភាពរបស់បងប្អូនពិតជាមិនធម្មតាទេហើយយើងជឿជាក់នៅលើខ្លួនឯងយើងត្រូវឲ្យក្តីសង្ឃឹមមកលើខ្លួនឯងព្រោះថានេះគឺជាជំហានបន្ទាប់ទៀតនៃអនាគតរបស់បងប្អូនហើយនៅខ្វះតែមួយជំហានទៀតទេយើងនឹងឈានទៅដល់ភាពជោគជ័យហើយអញ្ចឹងបងសង្ឃឹមហើយបងជឿជាក់យ៉ាងមុតមាំថាបងប្អូនប្រកាសជាធ្វើបានជឿជាក់អត់ជឿជាក់អត់ខ្សោយម៉ែមកលើខាងលើជឿជាក់អត់ណែចាញ់គេខាងលើឯណែវគ្គផ្ដាច់ព្រាត់ហើយអ្នកខាងលើមកប្រឡងវិញលើចាអូខេឥឡូវនេះវិនាទីដែលយើងរងចាំអានេះមកដល់មែនតើណាបានមកដល់ហើយសូមសម្លេងអបអរសាទរហើយនាងខ្ញុំក៏សូមគោរពអញ្ជើញចាលោកបណ្ឌិតអង្គសេរីពិសិដ្ឋជាប្រធានប្រតិបត្តិនៃកម្មវិធីវោ50ឆ្នាំឡាបង្ហាញវត្តមានលើវេទិកាដើម្បីប្រកាសនូវលទ្ធផលជូនទៅដល់បេក្ខភាពរបស់យើងសូមអបអរសាទរហើយពុំមកយកមួយចាសូមគោរពអញ្ជើញ
បាទសូមគោរពអាដាមលោកស្រីលោកគ្រូអ្នកគ្រូអាណាព្យាបាលក៏ដូចជាក្មួយដែលជាបេក្ខជនបេក្ខនារីអ្វីដែលតន្ទឹងរង់ចាំនោះគឺមកដល់ដៃខ្ញុំហើយខ្ញុំជឿជាក់ថាអ្នកដែលបន្តទៅវគ្គផ្ដាច់ព្រាត់គឺនឹងបន្តខិតខំពីព្រោះថានេះមិនមែនជាចុងបញ្ចប់នៃព្រឹត្តិការណ៍ទេយើងនឹងមានព្រឹត្តិការណ៍ក្រោយៗទៀតដែលតន្ទឹងរង់ចាំដោយឡែកអ្នកដែលពុំទាន់ទទួលបានជោគជ័យនៅពេលនេះសូមកុំអន់ចិត្តហើយផ្ទុយទៅវិញត្រៀមខ្លួនឲ្យកាន់តែខ្លាំងថែមទៀតដើម្បីកែនៅកំហុសឆ្គងក៏ដូចជាចំណេះដឹងចំណេះធ្វើបន្តទៀតដើម្បីមូលទៅនៃច្រោនឬក៏ការប្រកួតក្រោយៗទៀតអញ្ចឹងអនុញ្ញាតឲ្យខ្ញុំបាទសូមប្រកាសលទ្ធផល Public Speaker First តើអ្នកណានឹងក្លាយទៅជាបេក្ខភាពសម្រាប់វគ្គផ្ដាច់ព្រាត់ដែលនៅថ្ងៃទី12ខែវិច្ឆិកាឆ្នាំ2022នេះក្រោមអធិបតីភាពដ៏ខ្ពង់ខ្ពស់អាដាមនីលដំស្ដីឧបនាយករដ្ឋមន្ត្រីកែកម្យ៉ាងនិងលោកជំទាវម៉ាម៉ាឡៃសូមអបអរសាទរតូចសុកវឌ្ឍកា
ចាសូមអបអរសាទរទៅដល់បេក្ខនារីដែលទទួលបាននៅជ័យលាភីក៏ដូចជាទទួលបាននៅឱកាសឈានទៅកាន់វគ្គផ្ដាច់ព្រាត់ដែលប្រព្រឹត្តទៅនៅថ្ងៃទី12ខែវិច្ឆិកានេះចាសូមអញ្ជើញមកខាងនេះបេក្ខភាពបន្ទាប់គឺលឹមគៀយុងសូមអបអរសាទរបេក្ខនារីលឹមគៀយុងស្អាតឆ្លាតប្រកែបេក្ខភាពបន្ទាប់គឺមាន ID ចាសូមអបអរសាទរអ្នកណា276អបអរសាទរសេរីសូលីដាអូវ៉ាសូមអរអ្នកចុងក្រោយដែលឈានទៅដល់វគ្គផ្ដាច់ព្រាត់ហើយចុងក្រោយហើយសម្រាប់ Public Speaker គឺបានទៅដល់អ្នកដែលមាន ID ប្រហែលមើលចង់ឲ្យអ្នក ID លេខមែន397ជាវចម្រុងសូមអរសាទរបាទដែលឡែកបន្ទាប់គឺ Debate Team ហើយជឿជាក់ថាតើ6ក្រុមដែលយើងកំពុងតែបានបញ្ចប់នៅ debate នេះតើក្រុមណានឹងឡើងទៅវគ្គផ្ដាច់ព្រាត់ព្រោះយើងយកតែ2ក្រុមទេដើម្បីឈានទៅវគ្គផ្ដាច់ព្រាត់អាចទាយបានទេក្នុងតែទាំង6ក្រុមហ្នឹងតើក្រុមណានឹងឈានបន្តបាទអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំសូមប្រកាសឈ្មោះក្រុមដែលឈានទៅដល់វគ្គផ្ដាច់ព្រាត់នៅថ្ងៃទី12ខាងមុខនេះគឺមានឈ្មោះវ៉ាវិរៈសាសូមអបអរសាទរតាំងប្រូហ្គេកនិងភួននីសាអបអរសាទរដែលស្ថិតនៅក្នុងក្រុម4ចាសូមចូលរួមអបអរសាទរទៅដល់បេក្ខជនបេក្ខនារីយើងទាំងអស់គ្នាដែលទទួលបាននូវឱកាសឈានទៅដល់វគ្គផ្ដាច់ព្រាត់នេះពេលខាងមុខនេះចាសូមអបអរសាទរក្រុមដែលត្រូវបន្ត debate នៅថ្ងៃទី12គឺក្រុមណាទាយមើលទាយអូហេទាយដូចចង់ត្រូវ Diana Bodivario Naret Lily និងឈុនសេរីរតសូមអបអរសាទរក្រុមមួយអត់ទេអ្នកខាងលើមិនគ្រប់គ្រងគ្រប់ក្រុមគ្រប់គ្នាអងចាអរគុណច្រើននេះហើយគឺជាបេក្ខភាពដែលទទួលបាននូវឱកាសឈានទៅដល់វគ្គផ្ដាច់ព្រាត់ដែលប្រព្រឹត្តទៅនៅថ្ងៃទី12ខែវិច្ឆិកាខាងមុខនេះចាបាទដល់លោកទាវលោកស្រីលោកគ្រូអ្នកគ្រូអាណាព្យាបាលសិស្សានុសិស្សក៏ដូចជាបេក្ខជនទាំងអស់
ឥឡូវយើងរកឃើញបែកភាពដែលត្រូវបន្តទៅវគ្គផ្ដាច់ព្រាត់ហើយខ្ញុំជឿជាក់ថានៅថ្ងៃទី12ខាងមុខនេះនឹងមានវត្តមានដល់ខ្ពង់ខ្ពស់អាដាមនាយឧត្តមស្នេហ៍អបយុរដ្ឋមន្ត្រីនៅលោកជំទាវម៉ាម៉ាឡៃក៏ដូចជាអាដាមលោកជំទាវថ្នាក់ដឹកនាំលោកគ្រូអ្នកគ្រូនិងបងប្អូនសិស្សានុសិស្សទាំងអស់នឹងចូលរួមដើម្បីធ្វើឲ្យព្រឹត្តិការណ៍មហាឆ្នើមមន្ទីរមន្ត្រីរបស់យើងនេះបានបញ្ចប់ទៅដោយមានភាពអធិកធម៌បំផុតជាចុងបញ្ចប់ក៏ខ្ញុំសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណទៅដល់អាដាមលោកជំទាវអស់លោកស្រីដែលបានចំណាយពេលវេលាមួយព្រឹកពេញដើម្បីធ្វើឲ្យព្រឹត្តិការណ៍មួយនេះបានបញ្ចប់ទៅដោយជោគជ័យហើយក៏សូមជូនពរដល់គណៈអធិបតីអាដាមលោកជំទាវលោកស្រីទាំងអស់លោកគ្រូអ្នកគ្រូក៏ដូចជាអាណាព្យាបាលនិងបងប្អូននិវត្តទៅផ្ទះរៀនខ្លួនវិញប្រកបដោយសុខសប្បាយហើយសូមគោរពអញ្ជើញអាណាធិបតីដើម្បីផ្តិតរូបអនុស្សាវរីយ៍ជាមួយបេក្ខជនដែលត្រូវបន្តទៅវគ្គផ្ដាច់ព្រាត់បាទសូមអញ្ជើញ
សូមគោរពអញ្ជើញវត្តមានថ្នាក់អធិបតីចាអញ្ជើញឡើងលើវេទិកាដើម្បីយើងធ្វើការថតរូបជុំគ្នាទុកជាអនុស្សាវរីយ៍ចាសូមអញ្ជើញថ្នាក់ដឹកនាំក៏ដូចជាក្រុមការងារទាំងអស់ចាសូមអញ្ជើញថតរូបទុកជាអនុស្សាវរីយ៍នៅលើវេទិកាចាចាអូនអាចចុះមកក្រោមបានហើយយើងតិចទៀតយើងនឹងមានការថតរូបនៅខាងក្រៅណាថតរូបជាមួយ